Let's just get this over with. You got it on YuSkool, smothered in butter and sour cream. And don't you forget it.
This podcast hopefully is going to get us where we want to get.
Lakes.
That is amazing.
This show's gonna be funny.
Next Look Around Cafe.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of YuSkool. We want to welcome you back.
Welcome back. Awful glad you could join me today.
I think this show is going to be funny.
This show's gonna be funny.
And we are in.
Next Look Around Cafe.
So let's get this show started. To all who shall see these present, greetings. Today is Friday, 232 days until Christmas. This show will start in the matter of 10, 9, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. And this is episode number 73. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Turkey Machine, Al Baby, Reverend Al, Sweet Al, Al Pastor, DJ Sticky Buttons, Grillapa, Storm and Norman, etc., etc. All names that I've given myself except for Storm and Norman. And I am drinking a CL. And we have a ghost runner on first, ghost runner on second, and there's a runner on third, Mr. Ed Tilma.
Scoring position. I'm right here. Nice to be here. Thank you, Ellen, for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Hey, it's wonderful to have you back.
Yeah, right? Version 2.0. 2.0.
And in this situation, I would say that there is one out, and I'm going to sacrifice you. Is it sacrifice when I get you home?
Yep. Sacrifice flies, sacrifice ground. I don't know.
I'll get you home somehow.
Yeah. Got to score.
Always got to. Oh, I won't actually get you home physically because you're going to drive yourself.
Yeah.
But we will score.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's nice to have you here.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Like I said.
Before we get started, there's a couple announcements that I want to say. I want to say happy birthday to my grandpa Schuling. He this past week turned 91 years old.
Oh, nice.
And also, that was Cinco de Mayo. Also, May 6th, the next day, my other grandpa Thompson, he turned 93.
Jeez. Got some good genetics there.
Hopefully I live to 80.
Yeah, that's a good number.
80's a good, 85 is a good number. 80, 85, somewhere around there. But they're still doing really good.
Yeah. No, they're still getting around. And
so quality of life is good.
That's good. Hey, there's nothing better than that.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're living to 90, 91, 92, 93 and quality of life is still good, but hey.
Keep rocking and rolling.
And they are.
Yeah.
They had a little birthday party for my grandpa Thompson. And, that's the other thing. I wanted to tell Chad Van Rice, thank you for playing guitar at my grandpa Thompson's birthday. It made his birthday. He did some hymns.
Nice.
He did some, Johnny Cash style music.
Oh, nice.
And my grandpa was really impressed because he said that Chad's voice sounded like Randy Travis.
Oh, that's a compliment and a half right there.
And my grandpa loves himself some Randy Travis.
Right up his alley.
Who doesn't love Randy Travis?
I can't find too many of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Ed, I forgot to ask you what you're drinking.
Oh yeah. So I am currently. It's kind of funny because this was a beer that I had brought last time, and I was just telling Alan that it was I was a little jealous that I'd left it here because it was a really good one, and I was like, it's fine. It's nice because it's in the fridge for other guests to drink. It's a great way to put the brewery scene out there. Obviously, you know that I'm a heavy beer kind of guy. I'm all the kind of beer kind of guy, but this one was the one that I had left, and I was kind of like, dang it.
Well, now you get to drink it.
I know, and that's great because it was still in there, and I'm like, hey, I'll pop that one. but it's a total rehop. And I don't know, somebody had drinking one of these. I think you guys all did, maybe. On one. I can't remember anyway. But yeah, total rehop. It's a double dry hopped DIPA, double IPA.
Could you explain because we had a problem with that.
Yeah.
We had a problem.
You had a problem of DDH. Nobody knew what that was. You knew what DIPA was, but then I think somebody said double and hop or something like that, but double dry hopped. It's a brewing process where they throw the dry hops in later on in the brewing process. And I'm not an expert. I'm still learning about it. But it's just a neat way to understand how they do this stuff. A lot of things in the brewery scene are changing. So it's really cool to keep ahead of, and it's awesome to see local breweries rocking and rolling around here. My hometown, Oakdale, obviously has 3 of them. So that's pretty solid.
It's Oakdale Bud.
Oakdale Bud. In fact, this is the brewery that has that Oakdale Bud.
They have a beer called Oakdale Bud.
Yep, beer called Oakdale Bud.
Is that the one I was drinking?
That's the one you were drinking. Yeah,
that's the closest thing to a Coors Light.
Yeah, which they never like to hear, but they'll just be like, "Okay, we'll try this." I like that about that. It's pretty funny because everybody's always coming in, and they also tried to make like a Coors Light-ish beer, which they had on for a while, but it's like now they're just doing their own thing. They were just trying to kind of draw in some people and do this and that, but excuse me. And but yeah, no, this one's it's a tasty beer. It's from Grains of Virtue, the one that we always talk about that is in the old Oakdale movie theater. They got a funky little place. The guys over there are cool. Go stop by in there. It's a little high. It's got an 8% ABV, but it's tasty and got cool. They're doing cool stuff with their can artwork. So,
and you just came from not a brewery, but you came from like a beer house.
Yes. In fact, yeah. Before I came here, I was at what just opened up, I think last week or something. It's called the Brass Tap, which I didn't really do a lot of research on it. Kind of found out that it's a chain. It's like if you've ever been down south or anywhere, metropolitan area, they have those yard houses or even like BJ's, over by the mall. It's kind of a little bit more of a chain thing. But anyway, went there. Not too bad. They had like I don't know, what is it, like 40 something beers on tap, but
really,
yeah, it's a little bit more of the more popular, trendier heavies, craft beers or whatever you want to call it. But they also got a cocktail selection and some different kind of alcohols for that, and then some pub food, some good stuff like that, and little intro. It's got a real huge bar. Big area on the inside. They got a nice little patio. It's right there over by Kaiser Hospital. So, if you got any medical emergencies, you could hop over and have a beer, instead of the other one to go to. I actually kind of like going to the Redwood Cafe. That's a cool place because it's right across the street. But no, it's pretty good. It had they had some good appetizers. Big appetizer fan. Those nice pretzels, like basically like the Costco pretzels cut up, but with the big salt on them.
Oh.
And some good queso. Ooh, that's good stuff.
That salt reminds me of water. What's it called? The water softeners.
Oh yeah.
The salt that goes in water softeners.
Yep, the big old rock salt.
I've seen some of those big old salts.
Yeah,
it's a little sodium high.
Yeah, a little sodium high. Yeah, once you hit them and they kind of explode in your mouth. So yeah, no, it was a pretty cool place. They had some good beers on tap. They actually had some 2 Grains of Virtue beers on tap. Plus they had some Blaker Brewery in the one series, and then they had some Dust Bowl stuff on tap. They actually had the Therapist on tap, which is it could be a little dangerous because it's like a 10.3. So
I like the play on words with Therapist because it looks like the rapist. Yeah. Is that intentional?
No, in fact, they get really upset when the downtown Turlock one was still open, the original little restaurant. I had said that to one of the waitresses or the bartender, and like I got kind of that look, like, don't say that. Yeah. Like, and I was just like, oh, I thought it's kind of funny because yeah,
like,
I got that.
Like, oh, that's my bad.
Yeah. But anyway, but I mean, the thing is if you drink like three of those things, you're it's going to take you down. But they also made like a hazy one of that, and they called it the Crazy Therapist or the Psychotherapist.
Oh.
but then they pulled that name because I don't know, they got feedback on it or something. I mean, I don't know. You got to realize they're commercialized, right? So they got that Hops of Wrath they're sending all over the world. I mean, they got that tap room. They closed down the cool tap room or the tap room and restaurant downtown, and then they opened one up in Monterey. So, which is cool, good for them. Rock and roll. Now Oakdale's got plenty of breweries, so I don't need to go visit there anymore. I'll still drink their beers from time to time, but
it's quite a movement lately.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's rolling. I mean, that's the thing. It's like Oakdale, town of 30,000 people, 3 breweries. I mean,
right.
1 brewery per 10,000.
But your surrounding cities go there.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, it's not uncommon for you to go in there and see a bunch of ripping guys in there. Right?
Well, the Dying Breed one, because they do have it. And that's the thing. I remember the beginning when all these the second and the third one open up, everybody's just like, oh, these things, look, you can't have that many breweries. And it's like, no, they're all different.
Right.
They're all cool. They all got their own little thing. And then now guess what? They're going to have to start brewing better beer if they want people to come to their place, right? I mean, it's competition, healthy competition. So, and that's happened. I mean, that the brewers, every time they come out with a new brew and whatever else. And I mean, even so the ones that I always like the Ripon folk go to, that one's a huge amphitheater or, outdoor area, stage, cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's drawing all people from all over. And I think, now it's like, it seems like the Grains of Virtue one too. You just get these people. I don't think they're from Oakdale, or they're from somewhere else. They're dropping by. So no, it's cool. It's a cool thing to see happen, and very proud of all of our Oakdale breweries. And good luck to those guys. They're rock and rolling. They're knocking them out of the park and doing solid stuff. So
the other thing about healthy competition is not only do they have to brew a competitive beer, but their prices have to be competitive. Right?
Yes, absolutely too. I mean, they're not going to, and the cool thing is too, even that I've always been a big fan of is, crowlers and growlers, right? And you could go in and just get a bunch poured for you instead of having to buy it in the store because if you're going to buy it in the store in a can, it's obviously going to be more expensive than buying it in the tap room in a pint or filling the growler or the crowler or whatever. And then you got beer, to last you for a day or two or whatever, but you get a better deal on that, right? So obviously you can't go drive down to Golden, Colorado and fill up a crowler of Coors Light and drive home, right? But you could go down to your local brewery, get a crowler, get a growler, and go home or go to a party, bring some fresh beer, and it's always a good deal.
What's the difference between, you said, a crowler and a growler?
Yeah, so a growler is usually the 64 ounce like glass ones that you see, but they got fancy ones, insulated ones now. They got pressurized ones. In fact, at one point, I think when the original brewery Last Call had opened up, I had bought in one of those gallon size Yetis, the big one. Yeah, the big insulated ones, and I went in there and I asked Walter there. I said, "Hey, can you fill this thing?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure." Does it got a lid on it? Yeah, sure. I don't know if that was legal. Who knows what ABV's rules on stuff like that? But no. So that's that. And then crowlers are usually the. So the growlers are 64 ounces. Crowlers are usually 32 ounces. They're cans that they pour beer into and then put the top on it. So it's still poured beer. You still have to drink it within a day or two, Grains of Virtue has a really cool one. They have the canner one where they fill it all the way up to the top and then they press the lid on it and then they seal it up. So that actually retains a lot longer. In fact, we did a little test on that. And I think James had one in a refrigerator for 3 months and it was still good.
Really?
It's still good.
How can you tell it's still good? You taste it or you pop it? Well,
pop the top. It's got carbonation and then you pour it out and it still has head and it tasted just exactly like when it was poured. And I was just blowing my mind. And I told the guys at the brewery about it and they go, the only thing I think is that they get all the air out when they press that lid on. So there's no air in there. So I think it just stays for longer. Usually crowlers, growlers, traditional ones, even ones that you could can, there'll still be some air in there. And that's what's going to break down, especially these heavy beers, like the ones with a lot of hops in them and stuff. They degrade.
Right.
Whereas in like stouts and the heavier or the darker beers, they'll actually are better with age.
Oh.
Yeah, they kind of mellow out a little bit. So there's a big difference between all those stuff. And I'm no expert by any means. So, fact check the crap out of me. But I think I kind of know what's going on a little bit. Enough to get myself in trouble. But it's just cool. It's awesome to just be able to roll down the street or roll through a town. That's what's thing I was really excited about is that like now it's like destination stuff. You're rolling through. I mean, you could roll through Groveland now and go to around the Horn, and that guy's doing some crazy stuff too.
Where's Groveland?
Like on the way to Yosemite. Like if you're popping out, going up 120.
Yep.
Out that way, going in there. It's right when you get to the top of the priest grade, old priest grade, new priest grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they got one too now. There you go.
That's tasty.
Yeah.
CL.
What number is that?
This is 17,549.
Oh,
this is my. You know what's funny is the other day I was at a wedding and we were talking about beers and how many we thought we drank. And I brought up the fact that I was on you guys' podcast.
Yep.
And we started talking about how many beers we drank in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is my first,
yeah.
Whatever.
This is the first time trying this one. It's the second time I've had it. Yeah. This is the second installment of the first one that I really liked. Whatever.
Yeah. And so then I thought, well, you guys are talking about fancy beers. CL's a nice fancy beer, right?
I still drink them. I drank a couple of them the other day.
And you guys just started a new podcast. How are you liking that?
Yes, it's going well. It's going well. Of course, we're excited because we finally got off the ground. It's been a couple year process, just from talking about it to finally implementing it. But it's great. We're finally off the ground. We're finally published. We like I said, we had you on. We've had some good guests. We've had some, editable material. We had to clear up some stuff, but no, we've been having fun doing it. It's been good. We, it was one of those things where you just kind of finally like pull the trigger on a few things, and we did a bunch of pilot episodes. We were recording into the iPhone. We came to you for some recommendations and kind of setting stuff up, and it finally kind of all came together. And no, it's nice. It's going good. We're trying to get, trying to find those guests. Like, that struggle, right? Yeah. That's the eternal struggle, is trying to get people. Hey, come on. You want to come on?
Working out schedules.
Yeah. Well, and me, because obviously the first time I was on, I was really excited.
Yeah.
Well, and we credit you with really getting the ball rolling, because before, it was my buddy Josh and Tom. They were talking about doing it this has been about 5 years ago. They were talking about doing it. And I had started listening to podcasts. So I was excited. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, but nothing ever came of that.
Right.
But then, once you fired up old YuSkool, I was like, yeah, and listening to it, especially on equipment or in the tractor, in the sweeper, whatever, and I finally got a hold of Josh. I'm like, hey, you know what? You want to do this thing? It's like, yeah. So last year we started rolling on the primitive, what we call the vault, the stuff that's recorded but might be lost, or might be special, might have to pay extra for that content.
Right.
But
for the premium
subscribers, the Rush 24/7s,
the OnlyFans.
Yeah, the OnlyFans. Yeah, right. Oh, that's a great topic. We've if you want to listen, it's I'll just, you mind if I plug that thing?
Plug the shit out of it.
Okay, it's Hoisting Heavies with Josh and Ed. We drink some heavy beers. We try to talk about light topics, heavy beers, light topics, just a little bit of whatever, current events, which it's nice. It's a little interesting because if you don't publish right away, it's a little bit of dated material. But even like you said, sometimes it's funny to listen, or good to listen back to that stuff and be like, oh yeah, I remember that was going on or whatever. So we're trying to get more into a schedule. Obviously, the same thing. It's getting into that schedule, recording, hopefully 3 to 4 a month, and then kind of putting them out on a nice timely basis. And
content is everything. Like we've said before, content, you put it out there, and it's just great stuff to pass the time, whether somebody's going to work, sitting in a tractor, maybe on vacation, going on a trip, whatever they might be doing, or just like bored.
Yeah. Just looking for something, right?
Doing some yard work.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's the thing now I find more and more, is that now, even making now our own podcast, I've been starting to listen to even more podcasts.
Yeah. I've
been starting to open it up a little bit more. And, obviously now that one of our favorite one, Your Own Backyard, is kind of, I guess, I don't know. He's probably going to make more episodes, but it's going to be slow because
Well,
Yeah.
he said I watched his on Instagram. You can do like the stories. You know, you can watch the stories, and he said that he's taking his time doing episode 9.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
it's in the works.
Cool. Awesome. Big fan.
He was
Big fan.
editing. The picture was him editing and 2 video cameras
Oh.
pointing at him. So maybe
wow.
he's going to do like a video with it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Like I said, he's one of the original. Well, so I'd like to call him what we've coined the Podfather, and he's the one that we he is. I mean, he got a cold case hot,
Yeah.
right?
And got him arrested.
It got him arrested. Like they said directly, Sheriff Ian Parkinson said, if it wasn't for this podcast, these new witnesses wouldn't have come forward. And
the tips, the leads.
Oh, gosh, man.
And he's having to go through that and kind of comb through it and see what's good, what's bad, what's real, what's fake.
Oh, yeah. Fresh eyes.
Fresh eyes.
Fresh eyes.
It's all about
new
party, fresh eyes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, no, it's been fun. It's been cool. Like I said, it's been a fun experience, and I'm hope, we keep on rolling. We're talking about when we do like so like when breweries do stuff together, they call them collaborations, and which is really cool too, because that's even helping the beer scene out even more, because now they're just learning all this new stuff from all these other breweries that are doing, like even the Sacramento beer scene is through the roof too, and it's everywhere. I mean, wherever you go now, it's like there's 5 breweries in a town. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to talk about like if we do something with somebody else's podcast, we're going to call it a collab, right? So we're going to work together on it or whatever, do stuff.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I don't know. It's the same kind of thing, because then you got listeners listening to yours, listeners listening to ours, and then they start, crossing lines. And that's the same thing what happens with breweries, right? They get beer. Oh, I've been to Claim Steak, but I haven't been to Grains of Virtue. So, or I've been to, whatever. Name any 2 breweries that have done collabs together, and then they team up, make a beer, and it's like, oh, well, let me try the beers from that brewery, because I don't know. So,
right.
And the cool thing right now is that the distributorship is getting bigger. They're starting to actually get it in, these local guys. They're able to get these local beers that aren't on a big distribution list into the, convenience stores and stuff like that. Like we always talk about the Creekside liquor store that's right by the old Cow Track.
Yeah.
The only bar that I know around that still has a shuffleboard.
Does it really?
Yeah, it still has it.
I think I kind of knew that. I have a picture in there from a wedding. Mm-hmm. We got done taking pictures. Oh, Sherbert's. Sherbert and Michael Machado's. When we got done taking pictures, we swung in there. We all took one shot. Mm-hmm. Maybe some of us had 2 or 3.
Maybe.
Who's counting?
Who's
right?
counting? No.
So then the photographer took a picture of all of us in there, and I think the shuffleboard was in the background. Maybe some of us were sitting on the shuffleboard.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's still, it's a very good staple in Oakdale. If you want a nice drink, go down and see Charlie, and he'll hook you up.
The old Cow Track.
Yeah, the old Cow Track. Well, that's funny too, because everybody calls it the Cow Track, but technically it's Cow Tracks, because Cow Tracks is, they call poop, cow tracks.
I never picked up on that.
I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure.
I would assume. I always thought it was just like
Cow Tracks
path.
Yeah, I guess maybe it is that. Maybe I just thought it was cow shit.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
I know.
You're from there.
Well, I'm from there, but it doesn't mean I know anything, because I don't think I remember anybody ever telling me that. Maybe I just made that up in my head. I got a good imagination.
So it's called Hoisting Heavies.
Yep.
And people can find it on everywhere, right?
All platforms. I think we ended up going through. I don't even know what.
Podbean?
No, it was.
There's so many.
There's so many of them, and Josh ended up. He was the one that pulled the trigger on a lot of that stuff, mainly because the studio, the Shab and Bassett, which we explained the name of it on the podcast, so you better listen.
Which was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, no, it's a cool little deal. And that was the original, the bar in his old at his old house would have been a great podcast studio. So good.
Really?
Yeah, it was a big old pool house with an actual bar in it, and
oh man,
yeah, it was cool. And
it's like a bachelor pad.
That's what. Oh yeah, and that's what. And then it just looked out over the pool, and like that was where it was like, oh, we should start recording in here, And at that time, it was like, oh yeah, we should get together and do it. And it's like, and then, nothing happens, right? And nobody's really driving driving the vehicle.
Right.
So
it's one of those after a few beers ideas that never really gets off the ground.
Yeah.
It's kind of like making plans at a wedding. Like, tomorrow we're going to do this. Let's go do this together. And then everybody's a little foggy.
Yep.
And nobody wants to do anything. No,
Yeah.
I get it. That's how this was,
Oh yeah.
with Scatman and Messick, we wanted to do it. And each time we'd get together or try to get together, it was like, oh, we're really going to do this? Yeah. Oh, I bought some equipment. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I'm a little too drunk to rip it in, or Old Town, or maybe Valley
busy.
Inn. Yeah.
I'm working.
Which actually would have been perfect for him to come. I could lead the show, and then he could have, fed off of it. But depending on how inebriated he was. So.
That happens. That's a fine line.
But now I'm wishing I would have had it.
Yeah.
So I could go back and listen to
Yeah.
me and him shoot the breeze for however long we made a podcast for.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, that kind of pushed us into doing this, which now I have all these conversations recorded with all my friends and maybe people that I would have never met before.
Exactly. It opens a horizon to things you never even knew about it. I mean, sometimes we're having guys that we've been friends with for 2, 3, 4 years, and we're talking about stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know that about you."
Right.
It's like, "Oh, yeah, cool, right on." Yeah.
Well, and like the Hank Postma, Hanky Panky, me and him hadn't talked for like probably, briefly here and there.
Yeah, just passing by. Yeah, just.
Yeah, and he's from Santa Barbara. And he's a devoted listener to the podcast.
Yeah, he is.
Now we are talking maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, but it got the friendship going again.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to come back up, I think, on Tuesday, and we're going to do another podcast.
Cool.
He's got some good topics coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's great. It's a great thing to keep going, great atmosphere, great.
Oh, yeah.
Great hobby.
Although,
if you ask my wife, she might not think it's such a great, but she's very supportive of it.
No, she is, because she was on the episode that I just listened to, and she sacrificed herself to be a guest, right?
Yeah. Speaking of that, Mother's Day is coming up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I gotta get her I did get her a good gift.
Oh, okay, that's good.
And the last time you were on the podcast, you had some big news for me.
Yes, I did.
That I had to keep secret.
Yep, exactly. It was a little early, and it's one of those things where you can't tell people yet because you don't know. But no, my wife is pregnant.
Yes,
and
congratulations.
Yeah, and Alan was just not very happy that I told him, because then he had to keep a secret. And I think that you said the next day you had to go see my sister and brother-in-law and had to keep your lips sealed.
Yeah,
sorry for putting you through that, but I was excited. I was very excited. So it was
as you should be.
Yeah, and it was So this is it's our first, and really excited. We don't know what we're having. We're surprise. I mean, maybe the last best good surprise that we'll have. I don't know. It's kind of cool. The natural wonder, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
So we're excited. She's due August 9th.
August 9th.
One day before my birthday. So that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so maybe, if it's on my birthday, it might be easier to remember. Or if it's near my birthday, it'll probably be pretty good for a group celebration. So, yeah, no, everything's going good. It's cool. It's growing up,
So congratulations.
Yeah.
Hit this because it's not working. What happened? Oh, I turned it down. There we go.
There we go. Still learning.
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you very much. Yeah.
So you told me that night, and the next day I had to see your sister and your brother-in-law.
Yep.
So it was a big secret. Mm-hmm. And now we're fast forwarding. So now we can finally say it.
Yep.
You don't know what you're having.
Nope.
And do you have names picked out, whether it's a boy or a girl?
Yeah, so that's, that's always a big question. And it's like, man, I don't know. It feels like we're in the same boat in the fact that we might have to see this thing before we name it. I don't know. That's always my mindset. But I've been tossing a few things around, and of course, everybody's got their input. I'm pretty sure we got Mike, one of my cousins. He goes, well, she's a big Peyton Manning fan, and you don't know if you're having a boy or a girl, so call it Peyton. I was like, oh, that's actually not too bad. That's pretty cool, you know. And then we have another one.
Is Peyton one of those names you go both ways?
I think so, right?
Peyton, yeah.
A unisex? I don't know. Right?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of those, but Peyton, if your wife is a Peyton Manning fan?
Yeah, she's a big Peyton Manning fan. She is she was a, I would say Peyton Manning fan because of course she is, because she didn't, but she's a Colts fan too, though. That's what I meant. Okay. Yeah. So she is in the beef industry, and she was young and she picked the Colts because it's a colt, right? It's a horse, right? So a young horse. And so she picked it when she was young, but she knows way more about sports than I do. She interned with the Doyers, the Dodgers.
Oh,
okay. When she was down in UCLA.
I wasn't picking up on your lingo.
Yeah, that's what I didn't pick it up. I didn't know either because that's what she said, the Doyers. And I'm like, why is it the Doyers? And it's because there's a lot of Hispanic fans down there, so you pronounce the G a different way.
So it's kind of silent.
Yeah, it's oi.
Oi.
I
didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know either. Who knows? But anyway, she interned with them for a while because I think for a while she wanted to be I don't think. And she told me that she was looking at being like a sideline broadcaster or
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So is she going to come on the podcast with you?
Is she going to?
Yeah. If she wants to be a sideline.
Yeah, well, that would be great. The problem is that I think trying to get her on the schedule too is kind of tough. I mean, we tried to shoot for Sundays, but we are having a wives episode. So upcoming, we will have our wives on it because we want to thank them for all the sacrifices they had made for us not being home, or like for Josh's sake, he's at home, but he's not attentive.
Right. Kind of like I am now. My kids are walking through the garage right now. My wife is.
Yeah.
So bigger question is, because this is going to come out afterwards. You getting her a Mother's Day present?
I don't, she just brought it up too, because I was actually helping him out with working some animals this morning, and she did, and I barely even, I mean, not barely, but I knew that it was coming up because my mother's birthday and Mother's Day coincides. Her birthday's the 16th.
Okay.
So it's always usually around, right? And so, so she was talking to her mom this morning, and she had totally thought that Mother's Day is next week. So she was off. But it was like, then she was talking about how like, she's like, well, I'm not really a mother yet, but it's like, but
she's a mother.
Yeah, but you're expecting mother, so yes. I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on that.
You have to.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go for that because it's going to be one of those things.
I think if anything, it'd be a nice, sweet gesture as a husband.
Absolutely. Roll right into it. I mean, thoughtful gift, thoughtful gift style, which in fact I just did for her birthday too. A lot of thoughtful gifts, not expensive gifts. Thoughtful. Yeah.
There you go.
That scores some points. You're putting some money back into the old relationship bank account.
Yeah.
Some deposits, because sometimes there's withdrawals that you make sure there's plenty of deposits in that thing.
That's a nice financial move.
Yes, it is. Save a little money. Wow. A little money on back end. So
no, not just financially, but financially in your relationship.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Oh yeah, for sure.
Because that comes from the old heart.
Yep.
The old ticker.
Yeah, the old ticker. Big fan. Yeah. Well, no, and it's just right. I mean, I can't buy her for a Ferrari, but it's a very expensive gift. Does it mean a lot? Does she like a Ferrari? No. I mean, she probably wants a Land Rover or something, but
you could buy a Ferrari if you wanted to.
No, I couldn't. Oh, no, absolutely not. I could not buy a Ferrari. No, that's out of the price budget.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, no, I don't.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, Alan, I'm in the import-export business, so don't worry about it. I don't know anybody that's buying Ferraris nowadays that isn't in some sort of.
I've seen more Ferraris and Lamborghinis on the road in the past. 6 months.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I just saw one 2 days ago going through North Modesto Industrial Park, and I was just like, I was going through, and I'm like, oh, there's a Lambo. But even like Oakdale, there's 2 Lamborghinis and a couple Ferraris that cruise through town. I don't know if they're just cruising through town. They might be Barrio people cruising through or something. But one Lambo I know for sure is owned by a guy in a decent house in California now, or in Oakdale.
What is a Lamborghini Ferrari?
They're like 250, 300, 300.
Too bad, I guess. I was thinking like 5. I
Oh
guess.
no, there are ones. I mean, it's the ceiling's endless. I mean, you could spend 1.3 on a McLaren or something. You know, there's all the supercars now. I mean, you could spend whatever you want. I mean, it's true. It is ticking up because now your high end Mercedes or BMWs are now like $185,000 or whatever. Even like I think even a high end Cadillac Escalade now is like $125,000.
Dude, even like a Chevy Duramax,
A High Sierra,
you're looking at
like 70 or 80, 85, 90,000. I think for a high country.
At least 75.
Yeah.
So there's high country and then the Denali.
Yeah, GMC Denali is the same as a Chevy High Country, and I think those. I mean, you could get them up there to 80,000 at least, or 85. I think.
They're on back order.
Yeah. There's no inventory, and they're still waiting.
It's like lumber.
Yeah. Oh gosh, 400%. Oh my
goodness.
gosh, you get a board of MDX right now costs like $65 to $70 for a sheet of MDX.
So you think that if the price got up that high, people would just say, I'm not buying it.
Well, you would think that the build unless they've contracted lumber or something, that's why they're still. Because even like where I was at, that Brass Tap, that whole Kaiser Permanente, the whole area, they're still building stuff over there. They're putting up more buildings every day.
I saw that.
Yeah, and they're still going, and it's like
apartment complexes,
senior living facilities. I think you could get some collagen injected in your lips and maybe a nose job over there too.
Hi-yo.
Yeah, hey, if you want some filler. So yeah, no, you think that it would just drop off, but yeah. And the fact that we're short on labor. I mean, everywhere's hiring. I mean, even the candy plant in Oakdale is hiring. They're hiring for like 17 different positions or something. And even Oakdale Ace Hardware has got wanted for like 5 different things that they're looking for. And it's like, hate to get political, but I don't know why they're not going back to work. Anyway, but yeah, no, you think it would just halt for sure. And so, yeah.
Hey, let's take a break real quick.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then we'll come right back. We'll hear from some of the sponsors.
Yeah, bingo.
I got to check on some of the camera. Looks like it just went out, so I got to check on that really quick.
Oh yeah,
so.
well, new technology.
Yeah.
I
love technology. All right, YuSkool. Go to break.
See ya.
You got some things to move. You call cow freight. Refrigerated or dry food. Cow freight. Pick up the dang old phone and call cow freight.
California Freight, a family-owned and operated business since 1989. Located right here in California's Central Valley. And just like our military, they're serving this country nationwide. Cal Freight takes pride in all their loads, coast to coast, no matter what you need delivered, whether it's food, beverage, dry goods, or anything in bulk. They're making sure that load's delivered on time. Let's face it, your customers are their customers too. So call Cal Freight, 209-599-5418. Hey, it never hurts to get an extra bid.
Call Cal Freight. Cal Freight. You know I'm calling Cal Freight. Call Cal Freight.
This show is brought to you by Grossi Electric. Grossi Electric Inc. strives to provide customers with quality service for all electrical automation and design needs. The scope of their projects include, but are not limited to, irrigation, agricultural and food processing, packaging, solar energy, and everyday electrical solutions. With a wide range of customers throughout California, Grossi Electric is your go-to source for all your electrical and automation needs. Grossi Electric is located at 2020 Main Street in Escalon. Office hours are 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Give them a call at 209-821-6733.
At Grossi Electric, they strive to provide.
All right, folks, we are back from break. Wakey, and no more breaky.
I love that.
And there was one thing that I wanted to talk about. There's one thing I wanted to say that I forgot to say during the beginning of it. I was talking about my grandpa's birthday, blah blah blah, and how Chad Van Rice sang and blah, blah, all that good stuff. But there was a couple other things that I forgot to mention from the beginning of the show. 20,000 listeners now. Just hit it today.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's a nice milestone.
Yeah, 20,000. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that this morning.
Yep. No, and that, you know what? Speaking of it, you could have rolled into our podcast segment there when we were talking about the one that we fired up, but like don't get caught up in the analytics, right? You want to get caught up in it. You want to see how many people, and then it's like, no, don't pay attention to it. Just keep on putting out your content, this and that. But now that's a nice milestone to reach for, right?
Yeah, I mean, it took us a couple years, but I don't know. I wasn't for a while. I wasn't looking at the numbers, because it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, what you're gonna drive yourself crazy, like going, oh, why isn't anybody this? Where what this that? And you know what I'm finding out more and more, and I think it came up on yours, and it came up on another local podcast that I started listening to now. Was that there's a lot of people in India that are listening just to learn conversational English.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought you guys hadn't you guys talked about that? No, maybe not. Maybe it was just on I'm getting my podcast kind of mixed up nowadays that I'm listening to quite a few now. And that was it came up on the other one that I'm listening to out of these guys in Modesto. I don't know if you've ever been in the Food Fix truck. You've been in the Food Fix. Yeah, you've been in the Food Fix truck, right? So Hank, the Food Fix guy, and with his buddy, they do a podcast called 2 Pint Talk, and they talk a lot about beers. That's kind of their big thing, and other things too. But yeah, no, he had brought that up, that they were finding a lot of stuff that was a lot of people from India like were listening to it. And it's like, why? What are Indians?
There are a lot of people from India listening to it.
Yeah,
which is surprising to me. I'm glad, but
that's cool.
I'm surprised. I didn't realize that there's like a big podcast push in India.
Yeah.
Plus, there's millions and millions of people.
Gosh. Well, no, I don't know about now. I mean, they're getting the second round of COVID pretty bad right now. It's
although I kind of heard that was kind of just hearsay.
Oh, was it?
Just a little scared.
Oh,
people are
maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? This whole thing. We're still. You know what? It's been brought up numerous times. Josh has brought this up. It's still a relevant topic. How much longer after it came out, right? It's still on the news every day, news cycle. We're still talking. We just brought it up right now. It's crazy that it's still rolling, but I don't know. The light at the end of the tunnel. So I think we're doing better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. Because we got. Well, we'll talk about it just a little bit. We got Oakdale Rodeo coming back. We got the Steak and Oyster coming back. Two of. Well, that's Oakdale's big thing.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oakdale's biggest thing.
And then Rippon's pretty big thing is the Steak and Oyster.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not as big as the Oakdale Rodeo.
No. Well, but I mean, it's, it's.
For Rippon, it's.
Oh, yeah. I'd say Almond Blossom is probably your guys' biggest staple, yeah.
And if we would have had that, then that would have been a different story. But no, that got kinked.
Yeah.
But also, today marks. And I put it in my calendar to like remind me, just like, okay, another year's gone by. And I put it in probably 5 years ago. But today marks 20 years ago today, I embarked on a journey and I joined our beloved Corps. Our beloved Corps, yes, absolutely. That's a good milestone too. I mean, it's something to be proud of, right? I mean, that was kind of weird. Yeah. Reality hit. Like, holy cow, that was 20 years ago. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. When you start thinking about that kind of stuff, you're like, wow, I swear that was like just last year, right? No, dude, that was like 10 years ago. and I never knew what that road was going to take me on. I'm sure the same with you. It's absolutely the same with me. And once again, to that credit, Alan, that was another driving force. You were another driving force for me to join the Marine Corps. Really? Yeah. I had wanted to out of high school, and I didn't, and I put it on, and then it was like, seemed like it go in a year cycle, and then 9/11 hit, and then that was a huge drive, and then I
didn't, and then I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and then you were in, and I was like, you know what, I need to do it, and then I still didn't, and then finally it's like, hey, you know what, Edward, you're not getting younger, right. So it ain't gonna be any easier. And
how old were you when you?
I was 23.
23.
Yeah, what they call a late bloomer, and or if you find out once you get dropped into the fleet, they start calling you the grand old man of the Marine Corps, even though you're 23, but you're surrounded by 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds and all that stuff. But
23 isn't that old, but when you're in the Marine Corps, it seems old.
Yes. Well, it is because, like I said, 18, 19-year-olds, they're all young. They're out of high school. They're, like when I would have gone in, what I wanted to go in or whatever. And no, it's not. But the greatest thing is that when you get into the shape that you get into and you got these young guys coming in, after you, and you're 24 now and you're beating them up runs up the hill, and he's sounding like the old man of the Marine Corps going, I used to drink Crown and water and smoke a pack of Marlboros a day and I could still beat you guys up this hill, sounding like an old man, and it was like, oh, that's where you get it from. It's like I had so much life experience before I went in, it's like stupid. But
I do remember some of those guys that you meet in boot camp and they're like you're at 24.
Oh, yeah.
And you're thinking, wow, 24.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. They're old.
We had, actually in our class, we had our graduating class in boot camp. He wasn't in my platoon. I think he was in the one, whatever, right below us or above us. He was the max. He was 28. And he had already been in the Navy.
Really?
Yeah. He had been in the Navy. He'd served. Well, I don't know if he'd served a full 4 years in the Navy.
He could have.
I think, he very well could have. I'm pretty sure. But but of course, then he had to go back through boot camp because, as we all know, well, not everybody knows, but we know that if you're in any other service and you want to join the Marine Corps, you still have to go through boot camp. If you go through boot camp in the Marine Corps, you can go to pretty much any other service, and they don't worry about you doing their boot camp.
So if I were in the Army, Air Force, Navy, and I want to join the Marine Corps, I still have to go to the Marine Corps boot camp. Mm-hmm. If I'm in the Marine Corps and I want to get out of the Marine Corps with a honorable discharge, and I want to join the Army, Navy, or Air Force, I don't have to go through the boot camp. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
No, that's it. That was common knowledge. I don't know what because I think you could be like 32 or 30 something to join the Army. That was there. I mean, you could always get there's always waivers, right? You could get a ASVAB waiver or a drug test waiver or a age waiver. Yeah. So, but yeah, I know that Army always takes people older, but within a certain amount of time, once you get out, or if you, is there a transfer? I don't know what you transfer, but if you go, then you go to the Army. They say, oh, yeah, you don't have to go through boot camp. You're obviously whatever, but you maybe have to go through a class or something. But that was always the thing. I don't know. I thought that was common knowledge, but maybe not. I guess not.
It was for me.
Yeah.
I just, I was trying to dumb it down for.
Oh, you mean for the layman's?
Well, I mean, a lot of people that we take for granted the rank structure. Mm-hmm. We take for granted some of the stuff that happens in the Marine Corps that we never knew before we joined the Marine Corps.
Very true. That was, you know what? That's funny you bring that up because it was one of those things where I think before I joined the Marine Corps, I thought the whole Marine Corps was infantry, right? Nope, not even close. Like you were non-infantry, you were heavy equipment, right? Yeah. And but yeah, infantry is I think 20% of the Marine Corps, I think, or something like that, and all the rest is supporting.
Yeah.
And so, it was one of those things you have just no idea. Well, of course, then you just have no idea what you're expecting either, because it's always the second you step on those yellow footprints, your life changes.
And the best way to get ready for it at that time before YouTube came out was watching Full Metal Jacket.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But now YouTube is out, and you can get pretty... You can kind of see what's going on, but you don't know the mental effing that they're going to do to you.
So I want to say that it's called Ears Open, Eyeballs Click.
Yep.
And that's the one that really kind of, and I mean, but yeah, you're right, because I remember watching Full Metal. That was another movie that kind of got me rolling, and I'm thinking, but it prepares you, but it doesn't prepare you. And I think I remember on the bus ride from San Diego Airport to MCRD, I was already thinking, I'm waiting for that time that I'm going to be surrounded by 3 drill instructors and they're just yelling at me. Like I'm kind of prepping myself for that, but it still doesn't prep you for any of that because you're just, once Black Friday hits, it's just,
So today was the day that I went into receiving. So we all know we show up on Monday or Tuesday. Well, we don't all know, but we know you show up on Monday, Tuesday, you go into receiving till Friday. Friday hits, which is called Black Friday, which is the day you meet your senior drill instructor and
your lead J's and your hats and right.
Yeah. So then the
it's amazing we all still know this, right?
The 3 or 4 drill instructors that you're going to have for the next 13 weeks, that's the day you meet them.
Yep.
Which happened to be on my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Alan.
Yeah. I met my drill instructors on May 11th of 2001, right? Yeah.
Wait, so you got a birthday coming up? Or you already have? Wait.
Yeah, in a couple days.
Oh, okay.
5 days.
Oh, well, happy early birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But like today would be my receiving, and then in 3 or 4 days, May 11th, that was my day I met my drill instructor. Yeah. So that's why it's in my brain.
Burned.
Yeah.
Yeah, burned in there.
Never forget.
Yeah. I said it's funny too because I can remember I was January 7th was receiving day, and then of course 4 days later is Black Friday.
And then there's another date that you remember, which is your graduation date.
Yes. Wait, do I? Oh shoot.
Mine was August 3rd.
Oh man, I don't even know if I know mine. Yeah, it was. Well, it's. March 19th or something, or March. Yeah, it was March. It's 3 months, right?
And then there's another date that you'll remember is the day that you got out.
Yeah, the EAS day. Yeah, that was January 7th, 2011.
See?
Well, I actually got out before because I had saved up some leave dates or whatever, so I got to go home a little bit early or whatever, which is not much. Where you go through the checkout process, which was lengthy, but not too bad. I can't complain too much. I mean, it's the government, so don't expect. It's like going to the DMV every day. So,
did you ever have to mow a lawn in the Marine Corps?
So yeah, sounds like you're talking about a working party.
Yes.
I never, for some reason, they called it an S3 working party, right? That was the one that always ended up going to do lawn mowing and weed eating, and I never did. Picked up a lot of trash, picked up a lot of cigarette butts, moved a lot of heavy stuff. There was always working parties. Ain't no party like a working party. And no, it was a lot of, I don't think I ever did. Although I think in San Mateo, because that's where I was at in Camp Pendleton, I was the northern part, there wasn't a lot of grass.
No.
I think there was only grass in front of headquarters or whatever. And
so mow the weeds.
Yeah, mow the weeds. Yeah, whatever, milkweed and whatever else is coming up. But I do remember guys having to go to, nobody wanted to go to an S3 working party because it was always at headquarters and there was always really big black insignias on top of those camis that you didn't know who they were, and you didn't want to call them sir, but you didn't know if it was a master sergeant or a gunnery sergeant or a first sergeant. Well, usually you knew your first sergeant, but
master gunnery sergeant.
Master guns. Oh yeah, master guns. You got to watch out for that one.
That was one of the biggest learning curves for me was saluting.
Mm-hmm.
Who to salute.
Yep.
What rank they were,
yep,
just by looking at it, because you gotta know immediately, like, good morning gunny, good morning staff sergeant,
yeah,
whatever.
And if it's within your chain of command, it's easy because you know who the guy is and you know who his rank is. But you get into we were 2-4 2nd Battalion 4th Marines, but we also had 1-5, 2-5, 3-5. We didn't know who those guys were, and it was just like you just see that big block of black, and you're like, I don't know what this guy is. I'm good morning, and the Gaster Gunnery is sergeant.
And it wouldn't be a big problem if you didn't know who they were, except for they would chew your ass.
Yeah, they would light you up. Excuse me, Marine.
Right. Proper
greeting of the day.
Proper greeting of the day.
Oh yeah. There's so much fun stuff in the Marine Corps.
Well, the reason why I asked about the lawn mowing was because I was not active duty. I was reservist, but I would only be, when I would be on the base, I'm thinking to myself, who are these guys mowing the lawn? Is that like an MOS, like mow the lawn? Or then I found out that it was like a working party of some guys that might have been like didn't have anything to do, or they were going into classes, and this was like their way of Because when you go into classes, this might be boring to a lot of people, but when you go into classes, you got like 3 weeks of waiting sometimes, or a month of waiting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was like busy work.
Oh yeah.
Just
Well,
keep
there is busy work in the Marine Corps. There's always, I mean, I swear, I think every morning there was always like, we need 3 bodies for a working party going somewhere, 3 bodies for this, 4 bodies for that. We need to do, that's a police call. All right. Well, now we're doing classes, then, okay. Then you go to a field op and then, PT every day, obviously. And it's like, oh yeah, there's always something going on. There ain't no sitting around playing Xbox. No, sometimes there was, but not too bad.
That's more on like the 96s.
Yeah.
Weekends.
Oh yeah.
So you brought some cans of Blue Diamond almonds.
Yes, I did.
Now for the folks that don't know about almonds, these are different varieties of almonds. Everybody's had the honey roasted, the
smokehouse is number one. Smokehouse is number one. So we sell our nuts to Blue Diamond. So I've been out for a little while with certain aspects of keeping up on Blue Diamond, but always when you ship to them, you always kind of get the newsletters and all that stuff. So Smokehouse is by far number one. That's
number one seller.
Yeah, number one seller. And still very good. I mean, if you talk to a lot of people, that's the brand recognition that they know. The Smokehouse, they love. But a close second, or it's really popular, is the wasabi and soy sauce.
Oh yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I really love that wasabi. You're like, really? I was like, it's good. I like it. No, I'm a fan, but like, it's amazing that when you say Blue Diamond, a lot of people now are going, oh, wasabi and soy sauce. Yeah, those were good. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of like an extreme flavor.
Yes,
at that time.
It was a bold flavor. Yeah.
Bold.
What part of the bold line?
And it was one of those where it's like, you don't see it. It wasn't very common. And now you see it all the time.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They got it in all shapes, sizes. So what I found out when I was doing the little Blue Diamond stuff, I was in the young leaders and did some liaison stuff and got to go to Sacramento, which is HQ headquarters for the layman's. Or like we said, it's come up a lot of times. A lot of alphabet soup. You know that in the Marine Corps. I love alphabet soup. You just start spitting out acronyms, and people are like, "What are you talking about?"
JJ did tie buckle.
JJ did justice, judgment. Oh, geez, that was. I don't think I ever got that even when I was in
discipline,
judgment,
integrity.
justice, integrity. Tiredness. But anyway, no, they have this. They got a whole R&D. They got a whole. Oh man, what they call it? They call it again. It's the flavor center. I don't know. That's where they come up with all the new flavors and stuff.
Ooh, like the Willy Wonka factory.
Yeah, exactly. And
almonds.
it's a lab, and it's very secretive. It's secretive because these are it's like smoke. I've tried a bunch of different almonds, different companies' almonds that are trying to be like Smokehouse. Never really found one even close. Whatever their recipe is, I don't know, maybe if somebody's reproduced it, but it's still a very, I think, closely guarded secret, I guess. So, but anyway.
Kind of like KFC's.
Yeah. With 16 herbs and spices or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, they are coming out with new stuff all the time, and it cycles through. And one of my favorite bold ones was this Carolina barbecue, which had some cumin in it. And I'm a big cumin fan, and
I'm recently jumping on the cumin, the train.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's so I'm used to it. I was used to it before I even knew what it was, because growing up, my mom would always buy what we call Dutch cheese. It was Gouda for the Dutch people out there, and it had rice seeds in it. It's cumin seeds in it, and that was what I remember calling Dutch cheese. Well, Gouda is Dutch cheese, but that was I love that cheese, and come to find out it's cumin, and it's a great ingredient to add in cowboy caviar.
Salsa.
Salsas. Yep, absolutely. And it was a great on this. But anyway, they cycled out through that line. But anyway, now they came out with this new line, which is going past the bold, because I actually just read the article on it too. And it's just like they're kind of targeting, a little more, a little more broader taste. And it is the extreme.
Oh, that's where I got the extreme from. So I said it's extreme earlier about the wasabi, but that's the bold.
Yep.
So there is two.
Oh yeah. Two lines. Yeah. And this is the newest line that came out. I don't know, maybe a couple months ago or so, I think. So they're fairly new.
All right, let me dabble.
You want to dabble?
Licking my chops.
Well, okay.
Right
so what do you want to start? Low?
You tell. Okay, give me the low, and I'll tell you. I do kind of know some of the flavors, but give me something.
Okay, so the first one we're starting off with is it's going to be on the low end because they have a little rating scale on here, as you can see, the little fire deals.
2 fires out of 4.
2 fires out of 4. This is the cayenne pepper extreme. So this one is on the low end. So
all right, I'm going to go for. I got 5. Is that too many?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm not sure what to expect here. That's a good flavor.
See, and this is where I've come out. I've done some taste testings lately at the local breweries and or whoever, because I like to. If I sell it to the if we sell our nuts to Blue Diamond, I like to put it out there.
Sure.
So, and I've gotten more of the. Wow, that has a really good flavor. It's
got a good after kicker burn.
Yeah, it's got a lot more flavor. Like I said, you'll see in the next ones where it's still not, like I said, still not overpowering. You're not going to die, right? You're not struggling.
I do like a little bit spicy food.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of jalapenos, serranos,
the good flavorful stuff, and that's where this is all comes from.
Right,
okay, now we're moving on. See, it's got a little back heat though.
I'm starting to get a little. This is making my beer taste better.
That's what cayenne it does. It's the cayenne's got that back heat. So, next one we're going on to is it gets a little more intimidating.
How many flames out of 4?
We got 3 flames out of 4 on this one, and this is what they call the ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper.
Mm-hmm. So.
I've never had an actual ghost pepper,
and you know what? I have never either. As biting into it or anything else, I don't even think I've had it on a. Did I Buffalo? Does Buffalo Wild Wings have them?
Yeah, see, that's pretty good. I like the first one.
The flavor on it.
Yeah,
and that's what I said. We're getting that has more of a flavor. This is
more heat.
Well,
3 flames.
3 flames.
Yeah, this is more heat. I only had 4 almonds that time.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with 3.
But it's a different taste too. So you get it's a completely different taste. It's a cayenne is more flavorful. This one got more heat and just a little different flavor.
Yeah.
So now
this is the. See, I thought the ghost pepper would have been
hotter than the cayenne. The hottest. But no, because Carolina Reaper. Well, there's another pepper now that's even hotter than all of them. Again, this guy. Do you know how they come up with this?
No.
So these guys, a lot of these guys that come up with these hot peppers are actually in like a competitive flower breeding program where they're trying to make the most beautiful blooming flower.
Like and the mad scientist.
Yeah, but then like the pepper is one of the most beautiful blooming flowers that you can get. So they've just been crossbreeding these things to get this beautiful breeding flower. Well, they also come up with like the hottest peppers.
See, my lips are a little bit tingly.
Yeah, they're a little hot. So now,
feeling it.
Now we're at
feeling the afterburn.
Yeah, it's starting to heat up. So like now now Carolina Reaper is 3rd because number 2 now is Dragon's Breath.
Oh boy.
And that's 2,480,000 on the Scoville heat index. And now there's Pepper X.
So there's 5 total.
No, this is just the peppers. I'm talking about the scale. Pepper. No, the Blue Diamond only has 3 of these extremes. And we're moving on to this Carolina Reaper, which is 4 out of 4.
You're starting to beat up on your nose a little bit.
They're hot. I tell you, it's not for the weak at heart.
I'm going 4 almonds here. Now, before I eat, I accidentally tossed in the 5th. I got it. COVID season, I got to eat it.
No, you don't.
So, now this would be a good trick to play because most families around here, when you go over to like a family get together, they'll have instead of like a candy dish, they'll have like a almond dish.
Bowl of almonds. Yeah, that's always there's I think I was raised with we were dairy farmers, but my sisters pretty much all married almond farmers, but they always had usually a bowl of like the raw almonds, or like smokehouse, or
lightly salted,
something honey roasted,
barbecue,
whatever. Yeah, they usually had those ones just laying around. So are you saying it'd be really fun to just dish these out and just be like, no labels, no nothing, have at it?
Because most people will go up. They're not grabbing 5 almonds. They grab like 10 almonds, like a handful. Pop them in.
You know, as I do, probably, that if you're driving down the road and you got a can, this is why these cans, we were just talking about this the other day, how these cans are so cool because they fit in a cup holder.
Yep.
You pop the top. It's easy to reach in and grab a handful if you're a little hungry, you get a little hangry on the road, and you throw them in there and just chomp on them, and it kind of settles you out, and it's a nice snack. It's light, it's whatever. But yeah, you go and grab a handful of these and throw them in, which has happened to a friend of mine who decided to. And I couldn't get it because they were still in the cans, and I had them set out, and he threw a handful in his mouth, and he goes, "Oh man, those things are hot." Said, "Did you read the label? You could tell there's a flames on the label, so extremes.
They're red and kind of black." Yeah. So should I grab a fresh beer because I'm out of?
Oh yeah, here. You want me to go? I'll go grab one too. You're the host. I'm gonna.
So I got 5 almonds here, and this one, the texture looks wonderful. All 3 of them have looked pretty good, and I'm kind of nervous to eat all 5 of these at the same time, but I think I'm just going to do it while he's grabbing me a beer. All right, here I go. Oh boy, I can actually taste the heat, like when something's going to be hot. Yeah,
that one get you.
That's got a way different taste.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. They're
good flavor.
They're good. That's the thing. The flavors are all different. They all got a different reaction. You get that back end heat on the cayenne, the ghost pepper. You get another one, and then it kind of kicks in a little bit later. Carolina Reaper is.
This heat is manageable right now.
Yeah, see? But
5 was my limit, probably.
And that's the thing is that.
Thanks for grabbing me this beer, by the way.
Absolutely no problem.
I definitely needed it. It's like eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without milk.
Aaron Burr.
Yeah,
that was the debut of Got Milk, I think, right?
Yeah,
during Super Bowl or something.
Okay, yeah, I'm feeling it. It's creeping. It's getting hotter, and I'm taking deep breaths, a little bit deeper breaths. So I think I'm getting more oxygen with it. I'm
sweating.
You are.
I'm sweating.
My eyeballs are kind of
glossing over.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm tearing up. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's not. It ain't knock you down like biting into a habanero, or getting a habanero salsa that's way hot, where you're gonna just like suffer. You could work through it a little more. It's manageable, like you said, manageable. This one is a little bit more.
This one's hot.
Tip of the tongue.
Yeah, tip of the tongue is feels like I just put it like up against a fireplace.
A red hot poker.
Big. Actually, it's getting worse right now. It's kicking. I think I hit like a pocket of the pepper.
The pepper. Yeah.
Because my eyes are starting to water.
Yep. Well, at least you're sweating it out.
One thing you don't want to do is accidentally get that in your eyes.
Oh, and I was gonna tell you, we have a trucker friend, a cattle trucker friend, and I need to send him. I mean, he doesn't cattle truck anymore. He still has cattle trucks, but he doesn't drive them anymore. And he was the first one that I found out. I mean, not found out, but it was just a funny story. Where he was eating flaming hot Cheetos in the semi truck, super trucking, and he had eaten flaming hot Cheetos, and then was done, decided to have a smoke, and goes, smoking and flicks the ash out, and a particle of flaming hot Cheeto goes into his eye.
Oh no!
He said he had to pull over. It was like blind in one eye. I was like. So now I'm thinking about, since he was another big proponent. He loved Blue Diamond almonds, and he would call about, I think his favorite, he loved wasabi and soy sauce. And they had another bold flavor. I think it was, oh man, what was it? It was like jalapeno smokehouse or something. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And so what I need to do is send him these ones because he might have fun having,
Does Blue Daimond? I know the one in Modesto when we used to go there. They used to have like samples.
Yeah, they used to. It's obviously COVID. They're not doing that anymore. But yeah, the gift
COVID?
shop.
Yeah,
and that even the Sacramento one's way bigger. The one in Salida is a little smaller. But yeah, they still have the samples where you could just shake them out and try them out before you buy them.
Yeah,
and yeah, no, it's a great. I love going there. There's always when there's new stuff coming out. Sometimes there's stuff in there that's not in the store. They actually got a backlash from the Dutch community.
Really?
Yeah, because of marzipan.
What's marzipan?
So marzipan is almond paste.
Okay.
Which a lot of Dutch people use in culinary, like the marzipan cookies, the Dutch cookie, whatever. Very good. I love those cookies. I mean, they're fantastic. But Blue Daimond, I think they either stopped making it or then they stopped making it and they had somebody else it and then they stopped carrying it. There was a backlash. And they're like, you don't want a Dutch mother.
A lot of the Dutch ladies that would cook treats for the holidays, they would contact their friend's husband or their family sends their Amazon Blue Daimond, so you get like that discount.
Yep. Oh yeah, discount.
So
big 10-4 on that.
They would send their friend over there, and the friend would buy like 4 of them, one for each friend.
Oh yeah,
because I kind of heard about this.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was called marzipan.
Yeah. Oh, it's marzipan or almond paste. Almond paste. You probably know it as almond paste. Yeah.
So I've heard of a lot of people having to get it from. Let me get this straight. Casey's Bakery out of Iowa.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. Like probably Pella, Iowa, or something. Because
I think it's Des Moines.
Oh, Des Moines or Cedar Rapids,
Sioux Falls.
Yeah, there's some Dutch. Well, Pella's the big. There's a bunch of little Dutch communities over there.
Let me get this.
Cedar Rapids, Cedar
Falls.
Falls.
It's where Dordt College is.
Oh yeah, so Cedar Falls.
One of those Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls.
We're just gonna go Sioux Falls.
Yeah, we're going to Sioux Falls.
I've been there once. It's actually really beautiful over there.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
No, I've never been. I heard. I know that the winters are a little nuts. I've known plenty of people that have gone to Dordt College. I probably would have enjoyed the cruise control rides in vehicles, drinking beer through cornfields.
Probably would have.
I would have experienced those.
Well, you probably would have just fit in just fine.
Yep. Bingo.
They got cold Coors Lights.
Yep.
Dirt roads.
Yep.
Cornfields all around.
Miles and miles.
Country
right?
music.
Yep. Big fan. Dutch women.
You would have fit in just perfectly. The problem is, though, that when Ripon folk go to Iowa, they either come back with a wife or they go where their wife
was from,
lived, or they stay in Iowa.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. I think that happened. I think that's with Calvin. Calvin's the same way.
Trinity.
Yep. What are the other ones now? Azusa. Yep. AZ through the USA.
Or what's funny, sometimes you'll see some teachers from, say, like those schools, say like Dordt.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go to Dordt College, and then they'll come to Ripon to teach in Ripon, and then they'll find a husband in Ripon.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like a
It's
kind of like a Christian dating service.
It was a dating service before there was dating services.
The old school.
They were. That's the funny thing too. Is that like it's. We always love playing the game of Dutch bingo, right? It's always oh man, it's always it's a very fun game, and
well, explain what Dutch bingo is.
Oh yeah, so Dutch bingo is usually like, I don't know, you might answer really good at it, but I mean, it's basically, do you know, so and so's married to so and so. It's just like finding the relation. It's like so the whatever would know, like I think for a long time it was like the 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon, right?
Yeah,
where everybody's done a movie with them or whatever. It's kind of that thing where everybody kind of finds out that you're related somehow, some way to somebody else or whatever. I mean, we're all related because we all came from a very small country, or, the whatever. It's, kind of like the Portuguese, same thing. If you all come from the Azores and your name is Rocha, your name is Rocha. If your name's Van Vliet, your name's Van Vliet. But it's funny because we always go through it, and especially in the state of California, we have 3 sectors. We have the Southern California Dutch, Then we have like the Southern Valley Dutch.
So you're going Chino Dutch.
Chino Dutch, Ojai, or not Ojai, sorry. I always say Ojai, and it's a little farther out. But yeah, Chino Dutch. Then you go up to the South Valley, which would be the Vaselia or the Taleri.
Is that how they pronounce it?
And well, it's funny because when you try to do voice to text and you ask, so if you say Taleri, it will say to Larry, like to your friend Larry.
Right.
Are you into Larry? Yeah, I'm kind of into Larry. He's an okay guy.
TOOLARRY.
Yeah. So and then you have the basically this area, the Ripon, the Central Valley Dutch. North, I don't think they go much more northern than that. Besides, you get into Oregon or Washington. Washington had Linden, Washington. Yeah. Well, I mean, just follow the dairies. I mean, that's where most of these. Yeah. So, but
Sioux Center.
We were close, kind of ish.
We were way off, but close at the same time.
Yes.
we were in the warm zone.
Yeah, we were in the woods. But so that's the old Dutch bingo. So it's pretty fun getting people. But yeah, no, that was the story. That's the marzipan. In fact, I had a couple bakers approach me about that, and I was just like, oh, I don't know what's going on. But so they finally started restocking it. But even now they're doing. That's the thing is that Blue Diamond's doing the flower line. Oh, and that's becoming a pretty big thing too.
Yeah, that's the health kick.
Yeah, health kick, and the same thing with the Almond Breeze, the almond drink.
Oh, yes. How do you milk an almond?
Oh, gosh, that's a great, if you got some time and you want to do some laughs, search that guy. What is it? The truth or almond milk exposed? Whatever that guy, and that was
it's
fun.
On YouTube, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, we just looked it up today because we had last week because we had a little Blue Diamond meeting, and it was funny what came up about that thing. And I swear the funniest part about that thing is when he's all, the toughest thing is sexing him. Female, male, and just throws it in his mouth. Oh, hilarity ensues. I don't know. You got to watch it. Look it up. It's like milking an almond exposed or something like that, and he does a pretty good job. And obviously, it looks like he's like a farmer of some sort. So maybe an actual dairy farmer who they were not too happy about that whole almond milk thing. But I still never really got it because, I always said, I think too, is that like people that are drinking almond milk aren't milk drinkers anyway. You're probably trying to go for the people that don't drink milk at all.
Right.
Maybe. But I mean, coconut milk's been around forever. Right. That ain't milk.
Yeah, that never jumped on the popular wagon.
Yeah.
But I think Blue Diamond's got a good thing going on with these extreme flavors.
Yeah.
The bold flavors before that.
Yep.
And then the classics. What do they call the classics? Just the original?
There's the original, kind of the original flavors.
Four.
Yeah, there's I think the biggest ones now, obviously it's, you get the smokehouse, you got the honey roasted, you got the lightly salted, and then
barbecue.
Yeah. But also they have the gourmet line.
Gourmet.
Oh man, I should have brought those too.
Oh, I forgot. My grandpa has been supplying me with dill pickle flavor.
That's another kind of bold. That's a bold flavor.
It's a
good one. Yeah. No, but like anything else, variety is the spice of life. So you gotta. Bouncing through these flavors is always very fun, and the gourmet line is actually becoming very popular, especially it's basically they call it gourmet because it's the nonpareil variety of almond, which for those who do not know, that is the premium almond. That is the one that's been around for a long time. It's got the real good flavor. Well, what they did was they skinned them. Took the skins off so they're that white color. And then they put them in tasty high-end flavors. So you got I think garlic herb and olive oil, Himalayan sea salt, rosemary, and something, and then your black truffle oil. And they're all very good. They're a little more expensive because it's a more thorough process in getting the skins off, and it's a premium nut. But very good, very good.
Is that the process? What is that? Blanching?
Is it blanching or boil? I thought they just boil the skins off. So yeah, it's blanching, right? Yeah,
so
blanching. Yeah, because there's like you sliver them for confectionery, you dice them, or you blanch them. Yeah, I see. This is bad. I should. Oh man, Blue Diamond's gonna be
I don't
pissed.
know how I knew that.
Yeah, no, you're right because it's a blanching line, and I should know because that was.
Sorry, I still have like. You know how your throat gets like
a little tightened up.
Yeah, I got something going on in my throat right now.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. Blanching. Yeah, you boil the skins off. Sorry, I should have known that. And Edward is Blue Diamond. I apologize for not knowing all my nomenclature.
So you take classes with them.
Well, no, you keep up on it. You got to keep up on it because that's one of the best things you could do. For a product that we provide our almonds to, our crop to. You want to be out there trying to just get everybody on board, and know.
So you're kind of a salesman for your own almonds.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, they're good. I mean,
do you have a Blue Diamond hat?
Oh, I got the best Blue Diamond hat.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to come by. It's right in the truck. You want me to go show you?
Go grab it.
Okay, grab it.
Well, I know they've had hats, but I remember the old hats. They used to have the white net in the back with the blue, kind of like the royal blue hat. And he's coming up. Oh, there we go. This is all black.
Murdered out.
Is that a Richardson 112?
No. So this is where I've come into problems. Edward has a very large head, size 8, and now I got kind of a mop on top of it, so it's hard. And the snapbacks that only fit my head when it was not a mop of hair were the classics.
Okay,
I can't remember. I got another hat in there that's a classic. Well, the Blue Diamond hat used to be a classic because otherwise all the other Blue Diamond hats I ever got don't fit my big ass head, even when I have my haircut. So then they started making these ones, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. They got a murdered out black on black Blue Diamond hat that's a net back, which is nice for summer. But then they changed the brand, and so now the brand is Sport Tech. But it's still, I need that high, depth because I have a long. The cabeza is.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir, yeah. Right? So I have a Richardson 112, and nobody wants to go to that last snap in the snapback hat. Oh, you're at it. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I usually have to put a little electrical tape on it just to keep it nice and snug. I mean, or for it doesn't pop, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm at 2. Oh. And I don't have your mop.
Yeah, no, I know.
I just have a real fat head.
Yeah.
And so it's like fat all around. So there's not like a longitude versus latitude.
Depth.
It's just fat. So I'm at a 2, but I don't have the hair. If I had hair, just a little bit of hair, it would be
exponentially larger.
It would be the one
last one,
or I wouldn't be able to do it at all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that if for all those people out there that wear flex fit hats, I am what's called, and also bring it back to the Marine Corps. I had the helmet size of, it was a large, extra large style or size that I was wearing. And when I went back to get reissued, I asked if they had a bigger size, and they go, "Oh, the punch bowl." I said, "Yeah," and they gave me the punch bowl, and that was great. It was the best thing in my life because wearing a Kevlar is not the funnest thing in the world,
especially if it doesn't fit.
Especially if it doesn't fit. And so I got that thing, and then of course the big joke was like, "Oh yeah, you're a gunner in the turret." They put a big old target up there. So, but anyway, no, for flex fits, I'm a what's called an extra large.
Okay.
So they do make that size, but only that's the thing is that you can't find a snapback or you can't find a netted back that make it that large, and so I'm kind of screwing myself over, especially with this mop that I got rolling on. So. But yeah, it's tough for me to find hats. Basically, somebody comes out with a cool hat and they give it to me for whatever business that is being done. It ain't going to fit. I give it off to the, one of our guys or, whatever, somebody else.
So what direction are you going with the hair?
Do
we have an end goal?
Yeah, my wife has asked me straight up. She goes, "What is the end state of the hair?" And so I don't have an answer, and I think a lot of people have thought they know the answer, that it's gonna be, I'm growing my dad hair or something. I don't know what I'm doing. The biggest thing that happened that rolled downhill on this one has been straight up the fact that my usual barber started another barber shop in his hometown of Tracy. Now he's only at the Riverbank location for 2 days a week, and I just haven't really tried very hard. And then I think this last winter I also grew it out, and I was starting to look a lot like what I would call the Robert California from The Office. If you don't know who that is, that's what's his? I can't remember his name, but anyway, he's got this just very thick hair, and now I've reached Farrah Fawcett stage, the real layered kind of flowing look. The sideburns are out of control. The neck hair is just exploded out the back, and I mean, maybe I guess it's going to be a mullet. I don't know.
For a mullet?
Should I?
Yeah. I mean,
that's what everybody goes.
It's fun for a little bit.
It's fun for a bit. Like, it's like what you do right before you get a haircut, right?
Right.
You rock it for a little while, but I don't know. I kind of wonder what it's just gonna like. I mean, I didn't get my first haircut until I was like 5 years old, or I can't remember. No, I was young. I don't know, maybe not 5, but yeah, no, it was I had the long Dutch boy haircut, right? That was like down to my shoulders. Well, not that long, over my ears. So maybe I'm trying again. To do that, I guess. I don't know. That's the problem, is that he asked me, and the greatest thing is that I just had got a picture from there was a picture that was taken of me, and I was facing a different direction, and I looked at the back of my head and I thought, oh my gosh, who's that old man? Because it's getting very gray now, and I'm like, wow, man, I haven't even had a kid yet. It's like, yeah, but I noticed that for some reason, for me, it was after the Marine Corps. Like my hair started to turn white. I never knew. Maybe I never knew because I was always sporting the old high and tight, which is what I usually sport. Usually razor fade. That's why I was getting Riverbank, because military and the Mexican community knows how to do high and tights. Good razor fades. Yeah.
So maybe you could call it the COVID hair.
Yeah, I kind of can, but I mean, I was still actually getting my hair cut regularly. I mean, I was, somebody was cutting my hair regularly through COVID, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of like I don't really care. The problem is
I don't really care hair.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that I run hot, so this thing is adding another couple degrees. You think it'd act more of as a radiator?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's really hot. So it might get to the point where, and I mean, next week is going to be a little warm. So it might be one of those things where when I grow my beard out during harvest, doing the harvest beard, that one morning I sleep on it wrong and it's poking up into your eyeballs and you're like, I'm shaving this thing off.
Like Pedro on Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, my head got too hot, so I shaved it off.
Oh, what a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, big fan.
So back to the Almonds though, really quick. A couple of the new guys that worked for us, because we're in agriculture as well for work, will ask me what variety or what kind of almonds are these. And I said, these are smokehouse. There's a smokehouse variety. And then these almonds are the honey, was it the honey roasted?
Honey roasted.
They look at me like, no, you're joking. Like, yeah, of course I'm joking. They They're not naturally like
They don't
smoke
flavor.
out.
Oh, you're talking about coming off the tree. Yeah. No, these this salmon tree got into an onion patch, so they're a little more oniony.
Yeah, they don't naturally grow. Lightly salted.
That's called a value added process. Yeah, that's the marketing or the term for processing, and Blue Daimond has done a heck of a job too. I hands down. There's always back and forth between a lot of almond growers and Blue Daimond, and you know what, they've done a great job for the whole almond industry. I think. Sure. I mean, all processors have done a good, but Blue Daimond is out there. They are big, obviously very large. Their brand recognition is huge. It's worldwide, and yeah, no, they're. I don't know. We've as Blue Daimond growers, we've been happy. I mean, they're the proudest almond growers. I mean, you see their license plate frames. Yep. Blue Daimond grower. You got one? Yeah. Oh yeah. Right up front. They got the stickers. Oh yeah. No, it's. I mean, they have the float in the. My uncle was on the float in the Rose Bowl.
Oh really?
And yeah. No,
they were in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The parade. He was on it.
No kidding.
Yeah. He got recognized for doing what I like to call the local yokel meetings, where
you just a good question.
Yeah. Right. No. So that was the deal. Was that like you put together these local meetings so that way that you get the local farmers asking the Blue Daimond guys, instead of doing it at a big meeting or this and that, you got this little small thing in the back. We do it at the back of H-Bar B, Batchy's, the restaurant, and have some food and then go over some market stuff and then ask questions. There ain't no stupid questions, just stupid people. But no, no, it's just it made it a more comfortable environment. My uncle had helped to facilitate that because he had been, as a dairy farmer, he had been on a lot of boards and a lot of organizations and stuff. So he kind of worked that into becoming a first-time almond farmer. That was a big thing. It was like these first-time almond farmers had no idea, or first-time Blue Daimond guys or whatever, they had no idea about what everything was about, and they were always afraid to ask these questions. So he got that rolling. So then he got which is a grueling process of being on a Rose Bowl parade float. I mean, it's
really.
Oh yeah, it's an hours long process, and you better not have too many fluids in your body. You're strapped into the thing.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you're strapped in. I mean, you gotta
no coffee in the morning.
No. Oh, just go ahead and dehydrate yourself.
Yeah,
just dehydrate the crap out of yourself. And no, it was. But I mean, obviously, it's a very big. It's a very big privilege, honor. Yeah, absolutely. So that was cool. But yeah, like I said, we've been very happy with what Blue Daimond does and the flavors and the progress and the everything that they've done. They've done a lot for the whole almond industry, like I said, but then also, I mean, they do a lot for this value added stuff and it's good stuff. I mean, I don't know. I always like to see what they're coming out with next.
Yeah.
I mean, they got cool stuff going on. So
they got good gift baskets.
Oh man, they got the best gift baskets. I was just looking at those too the other day, and I'm like, oh man, that looks really good. I'm like, why am I buying a gift basket? I don't need a gift. I'm not gonna. Who am I gonna gift it to? I'm not in here for gift baskets. I'm here for the new flavors of nuts. Yeah. I'm all backwards on this one, but they do that. They do a great job at that Salida store. Hands down to the ladies and the men that are ladies. I'm only seeing ladies in there, but they do a great job in there. They assemble a lot of that stuff there, and they got a little good stuff. They got a little merchandise. Actually, there's a little bit of a kind of like a craft thing that they going on in there too, like little home decor items and stuff. So yeah, I think they kind of cut
related.
Farming related, almond related. No, they got Giants A's stuff in there too, like little craft projects that I don't know. They've kind of cut down, I think, on the amount of stuff that they're selling almond wise. Well, but they've also expanded it. So yeah, they've just added more stuff in there. So you go in there for a couple cans of this, a couple cans of that, some flour, maybe some breeze, and then you pick up some cool little artwork thing or some dish towels or something. Yeah, right. So. Nothing I'm really looking for. Right. Obviously, I'm
great Mother's Day presents.
Yeah. Oh, well, bingo, bongo. Yeah, there you go.
Full circle, right there. Full circle. So, are you a oyster guy?
Yes, I am an oyster fan. I'm going to tell you right now. I am most things oyster. I don't like the sandy ones because nobody does.
Right. The grit.
Yeah, the grit. That just kills it, right? The really big ones, that's a little tough. You got to cut them up, this and that. I love those medium to small size ones. I love the Rockefellers. I mean, they get a little fancy. Oyster shots are kind of cool sometimes.
What's Rockefeller? I
think they do like a Parmesan cheese and a pesto on top of it, and they cook it, or they do a red sauce. Yeah, they bake it with that on there.
Yeah.
You wait for them to pop on the open grill, and then you add the stuff to it. But no, I mean, even when we were younger, I mean, that was one of the best things. We would have cook some meat, or pop open the gas grill, cook a bunch of oysters, make a nice butter garlic sauce, and then, cook some steak. That was the appetizer, and then cook some steaks. And then, growing up with the Portuguese people, they always had the steak and oysters and, or the chapinos or whatever. And, big fan. I'm a big fan of those sea tasties.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, we just got done doing the experimental phase, because right now we usually have our steak and oyster in April, and that's manageable because of the heat, but due to COVID we're having to push it back to, we're going to try to do it in July, and we're talking about feeding 500 people. So we're experimenting. Our process of cooking the oysters is put them on the barbecue, which apparently gives it good flavor. Once it pops, you take it out. We put it in a steamer. So we're lighting the fires like at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Barbecuing them. They pop. Put them in the steamers. Let them sit till like 5:30 when everybody eats. So now that we're dealing with the heat. With the barbecue,
because we're gonna go ahead and guess. I think in July we're looking at
steak and oyster.
No, 90s, degrees, temperature wise.
It could be up to 101.
Yeah, it could be a 101er, could be a high 90s, could be a middle 90s. If you're lucky, maybe it's a high 80s.
So from the quarterback club, we don't want to have any heat casualties.
No.
So we're thinking of different ways of doing the oysters. So last week we had our meeting Wednesday. And we just did like a trial run with the guys. So there's like 60 members. We did 180 oysters. We pretty much cleaned them all out. But we did a different process. We did the steaming, just straight steaming.
Oh,
and
pop them.
To pop them. But not just steaming like in water. We did, like I said, 180 with a big pot, 2 gallons of white wine. Garlic, onions, and some others, and there's a few hidden ingredients.
Don't spill the secret. Don't pull back that curtain.
But they turned out great.
Yeah. So it was like you were infusing them or whatever, right?
It only took an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, normally this is like a whole day process.
Is this a new process? Because I know that you can. I know that you can steam or boil oysters to get them to blow instead of doing them on the barbecue. I think that's how they do it at the Steak and Oyster in Oakdale, possibly. I don't know. I can't remember. We always, like I said, if you're doing small batches, it's great to do barbecue because it's small and manageable. And but yeah, I think you just boil them and then they pop and then you pull them, right? So you guys are going the added step as like almost marinating and or infusing them with some tasty flavors.
Before we would just do fire.
Yeah.
So just put them on the barbecue, then put them in a water steamer. Now we're skipping the fire. We're skipping the water steamer. And we're doing like a flavored steamer. But we're doing like 3,000 oysters at a time.
Yeah.
For a whole huge group.
Yeah.
And
you could all do it up to an hour before dinner time. Or what did you say? Or it's going to probably be more than that.
For that, I think that process we would be able to do it like at, I don't know, noonish.
A nooner.
Get them going. We just don't want it to be bad. So that's why we did the trial run on Wednesday.
And then what was the verdict was?
The verdict was excelente.
Oh, muy excelente.
Muy excelente.
Nice.
Moisture was amazing. Flavor was amazing. And so all we do for the flavor is melted butter with minced garlic.
The basic, simple, tasty, good stuff right there.
And if you want to fire it up just a little hot sauce,
a little bit of tapatio or some Cholula.
Yeah.
I'm really good at pronouncing my Espanol. Really good.
So we were really impressed because we didn't want to go into it not knowing.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Trial run. Come on. Perfect practice makes perfect whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Practice makes perfect.
Well, no. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, you never heard that?
No, I never heard that.
Yeah. Because if you just say practice makes perfect, it's like, well, yeah, you could practice like shit and, you're not going to be perfect. It's like, no, right. Perfect practice makes.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, nothing's ever perfect as long as you got to try hard. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where that ever came from. I picked that up. It was probably from high school. It wasn't from I think maybe it was from a coach or something. Coaches said that. Yeah, coach said that sooner or later down the line. I want to say.
Maybe a drill instructor said that on the drill field.
On the drill field? Oh, no. Oh, don't bring me back. No, I wouldn't even worse than drill field. In boot camp, I went to corporal's course and when I was in the fleet. Oh, you want to talk about not being a happy camper. I mean, so real quick tangent. Infantry, I mean, we have to be proper. We have to, run the uniform code of military justice. I mean, you got to be lined up. You got to do all the customs and courtesies and this and that. But it's a little rougher, right? We're in the infantry. Things can slide a little bit this way and that way. So corporal's course is the exact opposite. That's like if you want to go, say go to 8th and I, right? If you want to go be, part of the president's own or whatever, that would be the band, the silent drill team or something, right? That's like high end stuff. That's like specialized.
Is that B billet? Was it?
What's that?
Like when you.
Oh no! So when you go to when I went to corporal's course, it was just it was a course, right? Okay. Yeah, just a course that you went at. You got TAD'd out to him. TAD, temporary assignment duty. Alphabet soup. So yeah, we just went out, but it was a total like proper Marine Corps thing, right? You had everything. It was very thorough, and me and my buddy were the only 2 infantry Marines in it, and we were just like, it sucked. But anyway, it was a good time. We got to meet a lot of non-infantry Marines, and that's when I found out this was going to be something. If I wanted to stay in the Marine Corps, I wanted to join the Mounted Color Guard.
What's that?
The Marine Corps has a Mounted Color Guard on horseback.
Oh.
Yes.
Kind of like the Marine Corps posse or something?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not even that. Yeah. All they are is a color guard. So they have the Marine Corps flag and the American flag. And then the two, it's usually for the color guards, always, the two, the Marine Corps flag, the American flag, and then 2 rifled soldiers. That's the color guard. The Mounted Color Guard is all that cool stuff on horses, and they're based out of Barstow, which the guy that I met was in logistics from Barstow. So it was like, oh man, I was like, he's all, yeah, the uniform of the day is usually like Wranglers and a Marine Corps polo. And I was like, well, that's really cool.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. I take care of these horses, no problem. But they ride in the Rose Bowl parade.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where you usually, they go everywhere. I mean, they go all around. And I'm thinking, that sounds like a pretty cool job.
Yeah.
But you do have to wear, when you ride the horses, you do have to wear the leggings. Like, so you wear your Marine Corps blues jacket,
yeah,
but you wear the white leggings with the like
jockey
killer,
leggings?
like equestrian leggings, like spandex,
okay,
or whatever, yoga pants, and you wear your killer boots, man, your riding boots, the big, tall, leather, shiny ones.
No
and I was
kidding.
like, that's a little rough. I don't know. But anyway, it was a really cool thing. Anyway, so
think of all the practice that has to go into that.
Well, that's the thing. No, you have to. That's the thing.
It's
not easy. You have to you train your horse. Your team with a horse. I learned all this just through this guy that was logistics, and he goes, you're with the horse all the time. You groom it, you clean it, you wash it, you take care of it, you ride it, you practice. You do all this cool stuff. You take care of your uniform's got to be damn near perfect. And it's an intense thing, but it was just like, that's kind of a cool thing because you don't think about that stuff, right?
No.
At all. So But anyway,
Stuff your recruiter doesn't tell you.
no, yeah, of course not. No, why would he tell you about that
The
cool
recruiter
stuff?
told me that I could play soccer. In the
He said I was going to be an astronaut.
It's like college.
Yeah, right.
They have a football team.
You know, it's like college. You guys live in not dorm rooms, but you live in barracks, and you get to do a lot of physical training. You'll be in really good shape. The girls really like it. You know, the chicks will dig you.
It's a brotherhood.
Yeah, it's a
family.
brotherhood. Which I hands down, and you know the same thing. It is a dang brotherhood. It's a dang brotherhood, and that's, you know what, 100%. That's who I miss.
Yeah,
I miss the boys, man. So
it's a violent fraternity.
Yes, it is. It's the most. Oh gosh, hey, just go ahead and join. You'll find out.
Yeah, sign that age waiver.
Sign that age waiver.
You're never too old.
You're never too old. They'll take you.
All right, well, let's take a little break.
Yep.
We'll get right back into it. Hear from some of the sponsors. YuSkool. Go to break.
Hey everyone, I am here to tell you about a business owned by my good friend John Hyder. It's called Silo Hill Web. Silo Hill Web is a web design and internet marketing agency in the Treasure Valley of Idaho. They offer everything from custom web design to social media marketing. It doesn't matter if you live in Idaho or here in California. Silo Hill Web can help you succeed in the digital marketing landscape. Check him out at www.silohillweb.com.
Hey everyone, we're here today to talk to you about Row Refrigeration. Row Refrigeration is a California licensed contractor specializing in commercial refrigeration. If you have a convenience store or manage a grocery store and you have walk-in coolers where guys reach in to, maybe grab a 6-pack of sodas or something, but then everything goes wrong and it breaks and nobody wants to come back into your store because your sodas are warm, well, Row Refrigeration would be perfect for you. Or maybe you have a business with ice machines or cold storage, even if you're in the ag industry or restaurant business. Row Refrigeration is your one call to fix all. So give John Rowe a call. Grab a pen, grab some paper. His phone number is 209-483-2814. I'm going to say that one more time. 209-483-2814. He's there for all your refrigeration needs. California license number 1056216. All right, folks, welcome back. Wakey, wakey, no more breaky. I keep saying that. I like it too much.
I do. That's the thing. When you say that, I was like, oh man, I like that saying. It's because it's like, it always reminds me of the wakey, wakey, you want eggs and bakey?
Right. Yeah. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Or wakey, wakey, hand off snakey.
That's a good one too. I love that.
So how did you guys get your name for your podcast?
Oh yeah, no. So that's such a good little deal. It was always the thing. It's like, oh, you're doing a podcast. What are you talking about? The first two questions: what's the name of it and what you're talking about?
Right.
And it's like, well, we're just BSing and we don't know what the name is yet. So we had a little session, me and Josh, and we're sitting there just throwing names out, and then we got all super chazzy and started like looking up the podcast name generator, yeah. It's like, and then after a while we're like,
there's an app for everything. Mm-hmm. Or there's a tool for everything.
Oh, you could name your child, right? You can, throw in all that stuff and they'll come out with a business name. But no, we were just kind of riffing off each other after a while after we realized we could be a little more creative like that. And then it really came down to the fact that we were, originally we wanted to do we were talking about doing like a movie critique kind of podcast where we'd BS and then we would, drink beers and talk about other stuff, but then also movies and this and that. And then we kind of moved on from that. And then it was like, well, and I can't remember where it originally came from, and I don't know how it all came up, but we enjoyed the beer scene in Oakdale. Obviously, big fan of the breweries,
right?
And they're heavy beers. I mean, compared to your Coors Lights, your Bud Lights, and all that stuff, they're heavier beers. It's been referred to before as dark beers, but no, it's more heavy beers. It's more flavorful. It's got a lot of stuff going on and different styles. So we're like, well, it's got to be something about heavies. They're heavy beers. We're drinking heavy beers. We're going to talk about them a little bit. Then we're going to BS about a bunch of other stuff and do this and that. And so then we just started riffing again, and I came up with this story, and we're bouncing names off, and you could tell when we're not agreeing on something. Oh, how about and you're like, no, I don't know, whatever. Try not to hurt anybody's feelings. Right. So we finally just I don't know, popped up to my head something my dad would always say about like. He would always just say like, "Oh, the boys in the back, they're hoisting back a few," or something. He'd always talk, and then he would use the moniker or the visualization of hoisting, throwing your finger and pinky up and hoisting back a few or whatever, this and that. And so then I was like, well, man, how about hoisting heavies? It's like, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're hoisting some heavies. And maybe we don't need to hoist them so much as, sip them and taste them, so we don't, get too deep in it. But we're learning. Learning has occurred. So, hoisting heavies came up, and then, we just threw that up there. And
I like that your name means something.
Yeah, no, it's very applicable. We're sticking with the fact that we're trying new beers, or we're tasting this, and we're drinking local, or we're trying something else, or we're talking about the beer scene, and then we move on. And it's a nice thing. And Josh did a great job at doing artwork on it. He's got a cool little symbol, moniker, whatever. And
right.
It's really coming together, I think. I don't know. I like it. It's
the old hoisting. The hoisting, that it took me a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? It took me a little bit because it went over my head. I'm thinking hoisting heavies. Okay, I get it. But then now that I know there's meaning to hoisting back a few.
Yeah.
Hoisting back some heavies.
Yep. It's I guess it's old schoolish name, because I mean, it was funny when we first got published, and I was like, hoisting, I'm just going to Google Hoisting Heavy, see if we're up on platforms and stuff, because it was taking a little while to get published on a few platforms. And I'd type in Hoisting Heavies, and all I would get was like these hoisting companies with the hoist, the actual crane hoist. Oh, yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's a hoist. Right. So it was like, okay, yeah.
But it's like one of the old timers way of saying drinking some beers.
Yeah, hoisting back a few.
Cracking.
Yeah.
One of the other ones might be like getting your snoot wet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Having a snoot full.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having a snoot full. Getting the wetting the whistle.
Getting silly.
Yeah. Eat some barley pops. Eating some, barley pop or barley sandwiches or
wobble pops.
Yeah, wobble pops. Yeah. There's all these. Yeah. There's old timey ways, and it was just it flowed in real well, and we're gonna get it. It's got some good feedback. So we're set on it, obviously, and no, it's good, cool, and you know what, I don't know, it's been fun, the whole experience. Like, I mean, when you come up, I mean, you start, you don't know where it's gonna go, but you enjoy the journey that you're going on. Yeah,
I had somebody ask me the other day. He's a listener, and he's like, so what are you thinking, like the direction you want to go? Like when is the top, right? When are you peaking? And I'm thinking, this is it. Like, I've peaked. This is it. Like, I'm having a fun time recording conversations with my buddies. So it wasn't like I was trying to insult them at all. I was just saying, like, this is it. Like, this is what I dreamed of. This is my wife giving me a chance to come out to the garage and have a couple beers with my friends, record it. We laugh our asses off. We have some great memories.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't like it to go somewhere else, but if it stayed right here for the next 20-something years, hey, This is it.
It was, well, and like you said, it was like the original end state, right? Like I wish I would have recorded those episodes before, you know, with somebody that's not around anymore, or those conversations that are now lost to history, right? I mean, all the good conversations, the BS sessions that you've had with certain people, and learning something new about somebody, right? Or I mean, that's one thing. The lost art of conversation, right? I mean, it's just a big fan. I mean, look at. We brought it up numerous times. He always comes up, of course, on podcasts. But the fact that Joe Rogan is able to extract information from people in normal conversation that makes it so interesting. That's why he's such a success.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just the good old, like, interesting open-mindedness. You know, just getting to hear the stories or the fun facts or the whatever. Oh yeah, no, it's great. Oh, hands down.
Some of the inside stories, having things in common, being relatable, all those types of things.
Yeah. Well, hey, like your podcast name, right? You know, YuSkool. I mean, it's one of those things where it was like school SC, no SK, you know, but it's always the bind up. But it's just, you know, school we're getting schooled.
Yeah, learning about ourselves. I guess I don't know. It's just kind of me and Bones were kind of kicking that around. Like, it's just learning about ourselves. So it's kind of like our own school, YuSkool. Yeah. There's YouTube, YuSkool. There's whatever. So
it's like in the tech boom when everybody just put I in front of something.
Right.
iMovie, iPod. What was when there was an I think there was an SNL skit where they were like, this is the Iraq. Watch out, it might blow up or something like that. I don't know. It was a funny skit.
Yeah, but there's cool things about the podcast, and it's always cool to hear other people say, "Oh, dude, I was listening to your podcast." Like, you listen to the podcast? Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Like, and I remember from previous episodes too. Alan has a podcast, and that was like the same thing. My brother-in-law Brad, right? He was the one that introduced me to you. I think off of episode 4. I think it was it was your first with Dr. Feelgood. Oh yeah. Yeah. And he goes, oh yeah. He's like, Alan's, and I was like, oh, Alan's got a podcast, you know. And then when I started listening, that was it. That was the start, and that was, you know, never went back. And but yeah, it was just like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then now we have a couple of those feedback stories too. And you're right. You know, somebody goes, I think Josh had a real good story, like right off the bat, where one of his old college roommates was driving down the highway or driving down the freeway or whatever, and we were talking about the milk pumping, like women pumping their breast milk after they've drinking, you know, and she was pumping in the car as she's driving back home because she had drinking the night before, so she was just laughing her butt off. Like it was like the old pump and dump. Yep. And so it was great. He's like, that was like the first feedback he got from somebody that we don't hang around. It was an old college friend or whatever, and it was just it was hilarity. It's like, oh cool, you're listening and you're relating to it, you know. So it's cool. It's a cool thing, and like you said, you're hoping you're putting out that content that people are enjoying. I got a buddy that got a hold of me, and he goes, I knew you guys were talking about whatever so and so. I'm sitting there trying to put my feedback in, you know. I'm like, oh no, so, you know, this and that. And it's like, you know, he's actually interacting with it. So it's funny. So
I'll get sometimes people listening to it, and they'll like text me randomly, like, Josh Duggar got caught today.
Yeah, they're updating you on information that you just talked about on a podcast that you released a little while ago. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I got that this week, and then the other one is like Kristen Smart. I'll get Kristen Smart updates.
Oh yeah,
which is cool because
people are listening. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Or like I'll get people. They'll text me. I've had one guy text me, or a couple guys text me like, I'm listening to you right now, and I just drove past you.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah.
That Josh Duggar thing, though.
Oh gosh, yeah. That like you said, that it was funny. I was listening to that podcast when you and your wife were talking about it, and then I had, you know, I paused it or whatever, and then I was listening to a news update on the fact that they were relating the fact that he had got busted for child porn, and it was like. And you guys were talking about, oh, I hope it's not that, you know, and then I was just like, oh, yep, it's out.
The main reason why I was hoping for that is because the children that are going through that experience, whether it's his own kids or, he's in the mission field, I'm sure, with his family. So you're shedding the light, you're trying to go out and you're telling people about God, but then you're doing that.
You're making a horrible name for not only you, but your family too. It's like
for God.
I mean, man, you gotta, is it that hard not to? And I mean, then it came out before that too, with that, like him and his sisters, whatever, the whole sister thing. And it was just like, man, you need some help. I mean, I got my own problems, right? You got your own problems. We all have our own problems, but
we're
it's
not
like,
perfect.
We're not perfect, but I'm not child born.
No.
I mean,
like I said in the last podcast, there's a special place in hell for
people. Absolutely. Those are the ones and that's the bad thing, is that when those people end up in prison, they are not treated very well either.
No. And I'm kind of glad about that.
It's instant justice.
Because we don't punish them enough, right?
No, we don't.
So we put them into prison. We slap their hands, slap their wrists. We put them in prison. And I'm sure prison life isn't greatest.
I don't want to be there.
No.
At all. Ever.
But I'm glad that, because okay, here's one story, for instance. This dude, I wrote it down here. Okay, here it is. Here's the headline. California inmate has now beaten to death 2 child molesters with a cane while in prison. And so I looked into that story, and it was like, dude found out that they were child molesters, and they were being like pretty vocal about it and bragging about it.
Ooh.
To where he just said, I snapped. I killed him. Killed both of them.
And he's probably already in for life anyway or something. Usually it's like one of those guys that they're in life and they're just like, no, that's I killed somebody, but you did something way worse. I mean, it's all bad. It's all, what is the level of it? But taking away the innocence of a child is, I hate to be getting heavy on this topic, but
but at least during this whole thing, you kind of see this stuff happening, and you see the new canines that are out there today that can, before they were probably just like hiding this stuff. Now there's canines out today that can sniff out like little tiny SD cards that contain like 100 gigabytes of whatever's on it.
Yeah. That you blew my mind open with that, because I mean, I know that the dog training field, we know that especially through war, explosives, obviously everybody knew about drugs, explosives is a big thing, then they just realized that they could start training these dogs to sniff out whatever, they get rewarded. Kristen Smart was a big one, right? Cadaver dogs or all that stuff, just looking for that human remain stuff.
They were training those dogs to sniff out human rotting.
Yeah. That's specific.
They were going, what was it, to like,
no, they went to Tarawa, and that was where Buster, the cadaver dog, if you're familiar with.
That's good knowledge. That's good.
Edward, well, this is what's crazy. I was listening to the Your Own Backyard podcast. I can't count how many times, but I would listen to it forwards and backwards. That's how good this podcast is.
Yeah.
I love it. Even, just after how many times I listened to it, but I was already starting to I'd already listened to it forwards, and I was going backwards again right when the news broke, and I was just blowing my mind. So I've probably listened to it too many times. I don't know if that's a thing, but oh man, every single facet of that thing is, but yeah, Busted the Cadaver Dog from Mammoth Lakes. He was the one that was alerting on these human specific, and then he even brought up I can't remember. Well, that's crappy that I can't remember the trainer's name or the sheriff.
Parkinson?
No. The cadaver dog's his owner.
The retired one.
Yeah, because they said once he was retired that his dog's credentials didn't matter anymore, and it's like it's a dog. Because remember, David Smallwood goes, "It's a dog. He doesn't know when he has a license expired. He just knows where the dead bodies are."
Exactly.
David Smallwood. Anyway, but very cool. David Smallwood also did a lot to do for the Kristen Smart case. So hands off, kudos. But then that was great because the cadaver dog, he he brought up the story about doing the Speed Freak killers up here in Linden, which is right in our backyard too, the Linden,
our own backyard.
And then when they were finding him, they buried him all in those wells, and then he did a training exercise because he goes, it's pasture land, and there was a big old fat dead rotten cow out there, and I saw that as a training opportunity, and I brought Buster over there, and he didn't alert on that animal remains because they're only looking for human specific decaying, and it's like, man, but those dogs, I mean, if you got a dog, those dogs use their sniffer. I mean,
those are good sniffers.
Yeah. And our dog, we have a dog, a little scruff. I don't smell anything. And then suddenly his snout goes up in the air and he's just, he's sniffing out something. But yeah, they hit stuff that you can't even imagine. So now that the fact that you blew my mind open on that, where they're sniffing out it's so specific that they're sniffing out electronics do SD cards give off an active aura of smell? They obviously do, because
this says right here, Chewy. This is on
cool name.
Our Rescue on Instagram. It's all about busting pedophiles.
Awesome.
Right? Chewy is trained as an electronic storage device, ESD. He's trained on an electronic storage device detection canine to help find small devices that are often hidden and hard to find. He can sniff out the chemical scent and alerts when he locates these types of devices.
Crazy.
That's wild.
That's next level.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of smell does an SD card give off? I don't know.
There must be some.
There's something.
Sort of,
I guarantee, like, they use certain components, rare earth minerals, whatever, and they train on them, and they give off a smell to a dog. So it's crazy.
And they're busting these people,
which is
that way
100,000,000% the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I mean, that's the thing. Imagine if you go into a suspected child pornographer's house or whatever, and he's smart and he's got everything hidden, and he's got his clean computers or whatever, his clean storage devices, but he's got a back alley hiding space or something, but the dog can sniff it out and find it. Yeah.
Or normally he would just get away with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So, and then who knows if he would go out. Yeah. They're
preventing more innocent children being hurt.
Exploited. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's, hats off to you too. Yeah. Like you said, 2-legged and 4-legged. Yeah. They're heroes too.
Doing God's work.
Yep. Just taking care of business. I love
those little sniffers. Yeah. It went from the what's it called? The evolution of dogs hunting coons.
Yep. Oh yeah. Bears, foxes, hares.
To marijuana. Cocaine.
No. Hey, by the way, sorry, I'm going to bring up real quick. Family Guy episode when Brian becomes he's a drug dog and he gets addicted. I shouldn't laugh about that, but it's a cartoon, so take a joke.
To what?
Cocaine.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely it. Oh yeah, that's it. And then he's like showing up to work all bloodshot eyes now. It's like wearing sunglasses, and he's like, oh yeah. Sorry,
I haven't watched Family Guy in such a long time.
Oh yeah, no, I don't keep up on it, but every once in a while it's on there, and I watch an episode, and you always just laugh because you're like, oh my gosh, like South Park. That's the thing. South Park, I've watched a couple episodes, and they always said that the vaccination specials were pretty funny or something, but Family Guy's been the one that was always like, oh, okay, I'll watch an episode, and you watch it and you're just like, oh my gosh, did they just say that?
But it always crosses the line.
Oh, completely. They don't. Seth MacFarlane does not even like just tiptoe across the line. He goes on the other side and just. Well, and then it's come up so many times on Family Guy where they're like, there was the one episode where it's like, they said, Bruce Jenner is a woman, a beautiful Dutch woman. I was like, oh, well, they knew. Then I think they did the Kevin Spacey one too, where they're like, oh, Kevin Spacey's keeping kids locked in boys locked in the basement or something like that. And I was like, yeah, you Google it. I mean, there's all these, Simpsons predicted stuff, right? Family Guy predicted this, this and that. Anyway, that's another rabbit hole to get down. But no, yeah, you're right. The evolution of dog sniffers, those things. I mean,
yeah, they got a good sniffer.
They got a good sniffer. They know what's going on.
And David Smallwood was right. They don't know when their license expires.
No, they don't. They're trained for it. Right. They're absolutely only rewarded when they find what their target odor is, right? But then I want to find out more about that Arpad Vass. That guy, he's the one that made the Inquisitor, the machine that sniffs out. They use, I think they used Denise Smart's fingernail clippings that has our DNA, and they put it in the machine, and then it excites the molecules that are similar to that and come back. I don't know. It's crazy. I actually listened to a TED talk on him on a podcast. Arpad Vass.
This is new to me. You're blowing my mind.
Oh yeah, no, it's in the podcast.
I must have went over top of that.
Oh yeah, no, it was. Wow, you got to watch out for podcasts. If you get distracted, you'll miss certain parts. I've hit the rewind button a couple of times when I've missed something because then something. It's like when I used to read books and I'd like just read and read and read, and then I would start thinking about something else and just keep on reading, and then I'm like, oh wait, where am I at? Right. Then have to reread the last page because I don't know where something in the book reminded me of it.
None of it registered.
Yeah, but no, Arpad Vass, this guy, he's smart guy, and he invented a machine that's basically like a dog sniffer. Yeah, I don't know. He did that. It was his big thing was the Casey Anthony case when that gal in Florida. Such a odd, just bizarre case. If you read into that thing, gosh, what a mess. Poor little Caitlin or something, Anthony. Anyway, he was able to use his machine to find out that there was at some point because they had said that there was just a smell of dead person inside of the car of Casey Anthony's car, and then so he took an odor analysis of it, and he found out that there was a handful of dead human decomposing remains, chemicals present, and also huge amounts of chloroform.
Really?
Yeah. I can't believe you missed that part. Oh, yeah. Dude, that was what really got my mind kind of spinning too. Because he was the one that David Smallwood hired him to come out, and he was the one that put the Denise... they got the keratin DNA from her fingernails and were able to find out that it was all pointing to Susan Flores' backyard.
So why did they have her old trimmed fingernails?
No, they got them from her. They just asked her for some, and they entered those things into the machine.
They asked who for them?
Denise Smart.
Oh, Denise Smart.
Yeah, her mother.
Okay.
Her mother.
Okay.
Her mother. They got them from her mother, and her mother obviously is going to share DNA with her daughter.
Yes.
So
this makes sense.
Yeah. I
was thinking they found Kristen Smart's old fingernails.
But remember, that's how the cold case went with when he was talking about those cold cases that they solved with when Ian Parkinson hired the cold case detective.
Right.
Not oh man, what was his name? Anyway, but they was able to track down the murderer, the Tascadero guy that killed those two gals back in 1970s, because then he tracked down one of his old girlfriends that still had a toothbrush and a shaver from him. And they pulled the DNA off of that. Yeah. To put into the system. And he ended up dying in prison anywhere, but he was already in prison and he died because he was in for assault and rape, and they figured those cases out. So yeah, no, it's amazing. Forensic technology is through the roof now, and I hope it makes it so hard for anybody to get away with anything nowadays,
which is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hopefully that scares some people off.
I hope so.
Yeah. Hopefully it scares everybody off.
Yeah. I hope everybody just starts becoming. Ooh,
CL 17,540.
Just tacking it up. You're putting, like I said, you like to put Adolf Coors' great grandchildren through college.
Yes. Although it might be free by then, so they won't have to worry about it.
They won't have to worry about it. Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah, but the drug sniffing dogs, that's amazing. The Josh Duggar thing. That broke my heart because I was really not just hoping the best for him. I was hoping there wasn't another child being
exploited.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's sad. I mean,
we were hoping the best for him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, we're
talking about
just hopefully it was just like a fraud case or something,
tax
like
evasion.
tax evasion. But that's the thing. I remember as soon as because that's the first news I ever heard of it. Because I stay away from the news a little bit nowadays. And
so were we breaking news?
Bango. You were for me. I had no idea. And when you were you're talking, it was like, but if the what was it that the DOJ was, or no, Department of Homeland Security was helping out the marshals in taking this thing down, I'm sitting there going, that doesn't sound good. Because I've listened to one of my other favorite podcasts, Radio Lab, which is an NPR production. So public radio is public radio. But anyway, they had a good story one time about a guy. Long story. I don't know. Listen to the podcast. It's he had a, oh gosh dang it. He had seizures. They started taking out pieces of his, there's an experimental thing where they're taking out pieces of his brain to like control the seizures. Long story short.
Lobotomies?
Long story. Well, not lobotomies because that's bad, but they were just taking out certain parts of his brain to control these seizures. Well, long story long, they were taking out certain parts. Like you start screwing around with the brain, something bad happens, and sure enough, this guy, there's a whole backstory behind it. Blah blah blah. Well, then he got into like child porn, and like it was so weird and odd, and it was crazy. But it always involved, like, Department of Homeland Security is always involved in stuff like that, and I don't know why it is. I mean, obviously I think it's always along the lines with DOJ and Department of Justice and alphabet soup. Their Department of Homeland Security is always involved in a lot of that stuff too. It's a lot of domestic, breaking of laws, interstate laws, this and that. Right. So I don't know. Once you said that, I remember once you said that on the podcast, I'm sitting there going, that's not a fraud case. Like that's not a bad, like something's bad.
As soon as they're involved in that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It'd be like in Texas and the Texas Rangers get involved. You're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. Shit.
It's like,
wait a second.
The Marine Corps of Texas. Like, the Marines are involved.
That's not good.
I follow on Instagram the U.S. Marshals,
really,
which is actually really cool. They're good at posting who's wanted, what they're wanted for, what their name is.
Well, that's great, right? Yeah, because putting that stuff out on social media is, I mean,
and it always seems to be like New Hampshire, New York, Florida.
I can see Florida.
I want to help so bad. Like, okay, there's somebody in my area. I'll drive around, keep my eyes open.
You mean be like a Dennis Mahone?
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep his eyes out.
Yeah, keeping your eyes out, getting involved. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing too. It's like, yeah, I mean, I want to help. I want to be there. And you never know. That's the thing is usually it's like, oh man, I think I just saw that person, call somebody up. It doesn't hurt to call. Like, look at witnesses, man. I mean, it kind of sucks that there's been witnesses that have been in the weeds for 25 years on the Kristen Smart thing that never came forward.
How does that Australian dude live with himself?
Dude,
I want to say that
heavy.
If that were
I
me,
feel bad for that guy. I mean, he's probably got to feel, because he's like a nice guy, and he's just like, man, he could have just stopped his bike,
right,
and checked it out. I mean, I don't know. I wonder that too. Driving around the countryside, you see stuff all the time. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, man, maybe I should stop. And it's like, well,
I don't want to intervene.
I don't want to intervene. I don't want to be a part of this, but maybe that's something that, and you're like, oh gosh, if that saved somebody's life. I mean,
the one time that I did intervene, it felt so good.
Yeah. Oh, it does. No, absolutely. I do try to help people, but it's like more and more nowadays, it's usually just tweakers that are you going to help? Are you helping them out? Just get to their next methamphetamine purchase, or are you helping this person out that it's going to change their life? I don't know.
Well, did I tell you about the time that I was walking out of jury duty and one of the police officers goes to church with me, or the sheriff's department? Mm-hmm. He goes to church with me. So I was walking by. I knew he was going to be over there, and he's just standing in front of the courthouse. Mm-hmm. So I say hello to him, he doesn't say anything back. I see he's focused on something else. So okay, well, I'm already lost. So I'm like trying to look on my map because downtown Stockton is horrible.
It's hard to negotiate sometimes.
So I see him talking to this guy. Next thing you know, they're wrestling.
Oh, yeah, no, this was on a podcast. This was on your podcast.
I talked about this on the podcast.
You did.
So I intervened.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I was allowed to do this, with helping a police officer. I mean, if you see a police officer in a struggle, my natural reaction, well, that would be with anybody.
Yeah.
Especially with police officers.
Yeah.
Is just jump in. And I've watched 1,000 episodes of Cops.
So I'm an expert.
So I'm pretty much a police officer at this point.
Citizens arrest.
So first thing that happens is knee in the back, that type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But then he let me put the handcuffs on him. And
that's cool.
The highlight.
Yeah.
That's one of my highlights.
Yeah.
Being able to, I was going to read him his Miranda rights.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Or, was it?
Yeah, Miranda rights.
Yeah.
You
have the right to remain silent.
Anything you say can
or will
be used
held against you in the court of law.
Or used against you in a court of law?
Something like that. After watching a million episodes of
gosh.
Cops, I should know that.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was...
I wanted to say, freeze, you son of a bitch.
Get on the ground. Oh, gosh. That's it. Man.
Stop resisting.
Yeah, stop resisting. Yeah. He's resisting. Well, with everything that's going on.
I'm going to kidney punch him.
Yeah. With all the things that are going on with Cops nowadays, it kind of sucks. But, I mean, I miss Cops because Cops has been canceled.
I loved Cops.
Yeah. I mean, even the references, Step Brothers, why are you so sweaty? We watch Cops.
I knew you weren't watching Cops. The Cops doesn't come on until 3.
Oh, man.
But that's an East Coast thing because think about it.
Yeah.
West Coast Cops came on at noon.
Noon. I watched 2 episodes at lunch. Yeah. When I was working downtown Modesto, I would go home. 2 episodes of Cops. That was my lunch break. Probably a tuna melt sandwich, maybe some leftovers. Watch 2 episodes of Cops. Get all sweaty. Go back to work.
There was always the same detectives too. There was like Officer John Bonnell.
Oh yeah, well yeah, he was the creator of him and Langley or something were the creators of Cops.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was Officer John Bonnell or Detective John Bonnell or whatever. The greatest was. It was funny because I think after a while, like during certain seasons, you'd be like, oh man, I don't want to go to Pierce County, Washington. They got a lot of meth heads up there because it was like every time you're like, oh gosh, this guy's high as a kite. Or you know what? And still, I think what most memorable ones, I swear, it was an old one, and the two cops were running their beat. They got the cops camera crew with them, and they're cruising down, and they're like, oh, there's Rodney or whatever. It's like, there's Rodney. Well, we should probably go pull over and check him out. He's a notorious huffer,
I saw that one.
See, I remember that one like crazy. He's got gold and silver paint all over him, and like, hey, Rodney, how you doing? Good. Rodney, you've been huffing today? No.
Right.
It's like just got his face is just covered in gold and silver paint, and they're like, Rodney, you need to get some help. Why? It's like just fried. I mean, it's just like, gosh.
I remember that one.
Oh yeah, see, it's burned in my brain. Oh man, it's just. I mean, that's how it goes.
So you said Pierce County, Washington. Mine was Las Vegas when you see the Metropolitan Police
on the bikes,
in the yellow uniforms.
Yep. There was one of the black cop or whatever that was. He was so interactive with everybody because he would. Imagine you have to deal with those drunk asses right all the time, and you're like, oh yeah, he's really drunk. Like he just tries to, work with them. Right? They're not able to throw every drunk person in Vegas because that'd be the whole town of Vegas, right? Or all the tourists, right? And you can't, make a bad name. So, but yeah, that guy was real good too. Yeah, he was, what was his name? But yeah, he was always, he was so interactive, and he was always joking and this and that. And like,
there was a few.
Why are you peeing over here in this bush? I mean, there's a casino right there. You could go in there. You could probably pee for free. I mean, they probably want a little bit of your money, but this is just,
Well, there was each season, you would get to know certain cops.
Yeah.
from the towns that they did it in.
Yeah.
And then you would watch that season. So like the beginning when they sing Cops and you see like all the highlights of the season.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, I want to see that one.
Yeah.
I want to see that one.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's
like
great.
the midget climbing up the power pole or the light pole.
Oh gosh,
or him doing a backflip.
Yep. Or I love it with the one. What was the one?
They pulled the snake out of the trunk.
Yeah, the trunk. Yeah, the Florida ones are usually pretty good. There was always the one where he kicks over the swimming pool, the little kiddie swimming pool, and the guy's hiding underneath it.
Or dragging guy from underneath the car.
Oh gosh, man.
Yeah.
Good highlights.
Cops was like a staple in our childhood.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh no, yeah. It was Married with Children, Simpsons, and Cops. My dad would watch that, follow on Fox 40, and it was, it was always Bad Boys, what you want?
It was good.
Oh gosh, man. And then,
I hated the commercials too because I just want to watch it.
Gosh, come on, let's keep on going.
You can actually go on YouTube and buy the seasons.
Oh, you can. Oh,
yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
Or they have the season highlights.
You know what? The crazy thing was I was just looking. I had some VHSs that were hiding, and one of them was the first Cops Too Hot for TV on VHS.
Oh.
And I couldn't find it when I was going through we're doing a lot of purging at the house right now, trying to get rid of a lot of stuff and decluttering, and I was looking for it, and I was like, dang it, I can't find it. I'm still hoping it's hiding somewhere, because a Cops VHS, I mean, then I'd have to find the VCR, because I don't know, I think I threw that thing out a long time ago.
Well, you can maybe get a VHS on eBay.
That's true, you can. Yep. Yeah, no, that's a very.
Do you remember the specials though? They had the Christmas special.
Oh, Christmas
like,
special.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, and it was all about prostitutes. The one that I remember the most was like the transvestite. That was on the first Cops Too Hot for TV. They had this. Her name was Coco or Glitter or something, and it's a transvestite, and she's in the mini mart, and she drunk or hot, whatever, all screwed up, and they're like, oh hey Coco or hey Glitter or whatever your name is, and she's just like hanging on the cops, and then she goes and grabs their junk and stuff, and they're like, oh no, not that good. Nope.
Not tonight, Glitter.
Not tonight, Glitter. Yeah. No, then they always had like with the Hot Pursuit ones or whatever.
The chases.
Yeah, the chases.
Oh, that reminds me of the one, I think it was in Washington too. They were chasing this dude in the 4-wheel drive pickup. He's going through like this meadow, and I think he like high centers on something. Anyways, his exhaust was so hot.
Oh, caught fire.
That's
right.
He burned to the ground.
Burned to the ground.
He's like, oh gosh, I'm embarrassed.
Yep, I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry. Well, then there was the one that was one on the. I think most of this was coming back for the Too Hot for TV, but the guy that he ran out of gas. There was then the camera crew that they got into an accident on the way of they were pursuing somebody, and another cop car hit the cop car with the camera crew in it.
Oh,
and they got banged up pretty bad. That was pretty crazy.
One.
Yeah, that was on the Too Hot for TV. There was a lot of Too Hot for TVs. That was all. I mean, that was, like I said, that was the most memorable, I guess, because it was on VHS, and I would just play it all the time, popping that VHS.
So did you buy that one, or did you like record it off the TV?
No, I don't know where. No, I don't. That's the bad thing, is I don't know where the origin came from. It was. I acquired this VHS tape. It was in the sleeve and everything. It had the Cops Too Hot for TV sleeve on it. It was the one, the one that comes from the bottom, the paper sleeve. And
so it wasn't like a Girls Gone Wild.
No, it wasn't like it wasn't. No, it was just it was a straight up. Man, where did I get that thing from? Now you got me.
You probably stole it from like Blockbuster.
No. It wasn't one of those things. No, it was like you bought it.
Maybe. But I mean, the Girls Gone Wild was like the late night order, right? So you buy it. You're watching TV like at midnight.
On the infomercial. Yeah.
So you're watching TV at midnight, and you're like, I'll subscribe.
Girls going, woo!
I'll dabble into that.
Yeah, how long did that last for? Those guys got in big ass trouble too, didn't they?
Yeah,
there was a lot of.
That was before probably like people's like rights to be put on TV or be
Yeah.
sold, their faces. Or
Yeah.
imagine how many girls got in trouble.
Oh yeah, for sure. Had to have, right?
They go out to
Daytona Beach.
they go out to spring break
Yeah.
one time, get a little ham boned, take their shirt off.
Hoist a few too many.
And that was before the days of like White Claws. So,
Oh yeah.
if there was White Claws out,
Yeah.
we'd probably,
It was probably that was probably in the age of Smirnoff Ices, maybe, or
Oh, that was-
Zimas with the Jolly Rancher.
that was 2003-ish.
Yeah, so that would have been Smirnoffs.
It was when
Smirnoff
the-
Ice.
The way I like to think about it was that was when the Sacramento Kings were good. Right?
When they had white chocolate.
Yeah. That was the era
Yeah.
when Girls Gone Wild was good, was when the Kings were good.
Were good.
The only reason why I know that because I know where I was living and I know when I ordered a friend of mine ordered Girls Gone Wild.
Somebody that I know. Oh gosh, that's funny. You know what? But that's right, because those were very popular episodes too with cops. Was the Mardi Gras ones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mardi Gras
Mardi Gras.
and the Daytona Beach ones.
Daytona Beach. Oh yeah, the cops on the 4-wheelers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they were just so drunk. I mean,
Right.
just the drunkest people that you could ever see in your life. I mean, and then like you said, like the Las Vegas ones too. Those people were so drunk, and it's like, oh man,
I love the white trash ones too.
Oh man,
Like,
well
there's some
that's the
hillbillies out
Oh
there.
my gosh, the situations they roll into a trailer park and they're like, oh, Darlene's over there doing this, and I think she's doing, and then Earl's sleeping with that guy.
This is my stepdad. This is his girlfriend.
Yeah. And they're all drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, they're drunk as shit.
Shirts off.
Yeah.
Usually a wife beater.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Cigs
Absolutely.
are burning.
Absolutely. No, that's exactly what happens. It's like
A little kid sitting on the couch.
That's when it becomes really sad, because it's like this kid is sitting there puffing on Pall Malls or whatever in this thing, and this kid is watching this stuff down. It's like, damn, he probably thinks this is normal. And it's
and
like
the double white trailer is
Yeah.
just a mess.
Oh gosh.
Dishes coming out of the sink.
Oh man, you got Mountain Dew cans and Cheerios boxes
Big gulps.
Big gulps. Yeah. Oh gosh, just sad. That sucks. But yeah. Anyway, you know what? That's now that's in the past, right? I mean, I don't know. I think all the cop shows got canceled and whatever.
Too bad. Watched a lot of cops in my life.
Yeah, that's the thing. You wonder. I wonder, like, how many Cops episodes did I watch? And it's probably I watched a lot. It was on for what, the 30 something seasons, right?
At least 28.
Yeah,
Maybe 32.
yeah.
I think
Because
32.
what was Simpsons? Simpsons is like 38 or 40 or something.
That was all around the same time. America's
yeah.
Funniest Home Videos.
Before it was AV or AFV or whatever. Yeah, no, Bob Saget. Yep.
Well, there was-
Rescue 911.
Yep. That's right.
Yep.
Rescue 911. America's Funniest Home Videos and Candid Camera. Was on around
Candid
that
Camera.
time.
That's right. Did you know how that started?
No.
Oh man, that's another good Radio Lab episode.
Oh, you know?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I didn't.
It was Candid Radio. He started it back in World War II. Who was that? It's a great story, because the guy who started it, I could probably look him up here real quick, but
I'll have to check into that.
yeah, so he started this thing where he was doing like a comment. It was in the Army. He was working for the Army Signal Corps, and he was getting, I don't know, feedback from, how the chow hall food was, or how the living quarters was, or talking to these GIs, and he found out that when he would turn on the camera or the recording device, and they knew that they were being recorded, these guys would just like clam up. They would totally just not even, like, they wouldn't be themselves. They'd get all nervous, right? And so then he decided, okay, I'm going to do the pre-prep. Like, I'm just going to talk to these guys while they're being recorded on the mic, but not tell them that we're being recorded, and just kind of talk to them about everything that I want to talk to. And then he found out that you would just get the truest forms of the story when they weren't being recorded. And then he goes, oh, so then they did that for a long time, but it never took off. And then, you know, the video camera, right? That it was one of those deals where it was like kind of the same thing. And it's a very fascinating story.
I just looked it up while you were talking. It said it started in 1947.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Dorian St. George. He did
Dorian St. George. That doesn't sound right. No, that's not it.
It's ABC Radio.
Yeah. But the guy, it's Candid. Because I think he was from the beginning. Maybe I don't think it changed, or I don't think it changed from. But anyway, no. The biggest part of the story is the fact that he. The best part about the whole story was the fact that Alan Funt. Okay. Alan Funt. The biggest part of the story, and I mean, just gotta listen to it. It involves a flight, a vacation flight with him and his family to somewhere, and let's just say there was a hijacker on the plane, an actual hijacker. And it got really intense, and suddenly the whole plane thought that they were on candid camera, but he was an actual terrorist trying to get the plane to go to Cuba.
No.
And they were like it was apparently some lady that like just kept on looking like, we're on. And so then the whole plane just laughing, and the whole time the hijacker's up there with the pilots like getting him to go to Cuba. And they're just losing, like everybody's just losing their shit because they're there. Oh, I'm on candid camera. No, don't you know? And then they land in Cuba. They realize that it was not, and they were pissed off at Alan Funt. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's a great story, and it's a good podcast. Like I said, Radio Lab. It's you got to pick and choose through your podcasts, and you got to pick and choose through public radio. It could get a little left leaning sometimes, you know, or
sure.
Hey, whatever. I listen to everything, you know, open mind, whatever. But they do have some good history stuff like that. I mean,
right.
Where do you pull that out of, right?
Yeah, those are fun facts that you would never know otherwise.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Hey, man. No, thanks for having me, man. This has been pretty good. I like this. It was nice. It was a good version 2.0.
And appreciate the allowing me to come on your podcast as well.
Yeah.
Hoisting Heavies.
Yep, Hoisting Heavies. Yeah, look for us. Check us out. Yeah, you'll be hearing Alan here pretty quick on ours coming up. I think we're going to be dropping that one next. We got a couple episodes out now. You could kind of sort through the BS and check it out, you know.
Hopefully we can collab.
Ooh, do a little collaboration. Yeah, I'm always happy about that. On location, off location, whatever location, as long as we're all there chit-chatting it up. I think we always have a good time. That's I think one of the best things that happens is that this good time to be had by all. There is no time wasted when you're wasted all the time. I should say
that's a good way to sign out.
Yeah,
right
no, that's my words of wisdom. Since last time I had a hard time struggling.
Oh, we didn't talk about that, but we can talk about that next time.
Yeah.
But actually, we could just sweep that out.
Yeah.
We're good.
Just throw
all right, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming. To all the men and women serving this beautiful country, whether it's air, land, or sea, we salute you. To all the first responders, two-legged and four-legged, thank you for your service. YuSkool, out. Everyone have a nice long day.
Bye.